fast. They're kicking with what is a very strong breeze. Wet conditions very quickly. John, a tip and a reason.
Glenelg, Phil, by the last goal of the game, they'll win by 8 points because I think they'll adapt to the conditions better.
Yeah, Port for me.
Yeah, Port for mine. Your caller to get us underway, John Simons.
Cranston jumps over the top of Meiklejohn. Meiklejohn managed to grab the ball down. In fact, the umpire says he grabbed it out of the ruck, so once he was tackled, that was immediately deemed holding the ball to the free to Trevor Cranston. The bounce down taking place outside of the normal centre circle to avoid the rather heavy mud patch in the middle of Challenge Recruitment Oval down here at Glenelg. The Tigers go up to half forward. Getting over the ball and getting the handball out there was Murphy for Glenelg. It comes back to Cranston now, feeds it out towards Mules. Chain of handballs ends up with Benny Moore out of sight of Glenelg Oval. He'll kick Glenelg inside 50 for the first time in this contest. McConnell coming from behind, as does Fisher. It's picked up by Backwell. He lost the handle on the ball, though. Wasn't able to take it cleanly. And Stacks on the mill 35 metres out in front of the Tiger goal, which we're likely to see a fair bit of today. Conditions down here are wet. Thankfully, around the countryside, we need the rain, but it's wet and also muddy and windy. So real wintry conditions down here for the players to adapt to. Smith takes possession of the ball out of the rucking contest. There was a free off the ball, and it goes to Perkins. He was held on too long in the tackle, and the former Kangaroo will relieve the pressure for the Port Adelaide Magpies. 1 minute gone in the opening contest, and neither side yet to score. Phil.
So Port with the win. Perkins kicks it towards the outer side. He's got an open man out there. That's a beautiful mark by Slattery. He's got a couple of paces, gets the quick away, and Biaggi's in even more space. He's 70 out from goal, has time to set sail, head for the hot spot, about 20 out, and Waterhouse couldn't take the mark, comes to ground. Glenelg now have got some numbers. Mules with the ball. He's about 40 out from the Magpies goal, and he's got a loose play on the far side. So, gee, lots of open space there on the Magpies break. Wasn't expecting a lot of a clanger by the Tigers. It's come to centre wing. I reckon that might be captain in Clayton who's taken the mark. He runs to the edge of the centre square, sends it high. Waterhouse going back for it also. Jenner beats all of them out of bounds on the ball, or is it a throw-in?
Throw it in, I think.
Throw it in. Will be about 4 metres around from the Magpies goal. No scorers yet. In case you haven't been in Adelaide, listening to us via the web, we've had constant rain for the last couple of days, including it was bucketing down about third quarter of the reserves. So the ball is slippery as Meiklejohn gets the tap down. Waterhouse trying to get in there and get the ball. Umpire circles. And John, it'll be a ball up about 15 metres out from the Magpie goal.
They are kicking with the out here at Challenge Recruitment today. So the Magpies will be keen to take advantage of this first quarter. They won't get a score here, though. The three in the rucking contest will go to Cranston. Some late changes for the Glenelg side. Matthew Graham goes out of last week's side, played in the reserves game today. Kirk is injured. John Hinge looks to have been elevated, or at least travelling over with the Crows side to Perth tomorrow against Fremantle. He's out of the Glenelg side. And a late withdrawal, Paul Sherwood, playing game number 150, also isn't out there today. And coming in, Tom Logan dropped down from the Port Power side. David Mitchell back from injury. Travis Spoke, a Port Power listed player who's been elevated after two fantastic games in the reserves. There's a great mark going back for Glenelg, taken by Kane on that occasion. No, Willoughby it was. Feeds it over towards Logan. Logan's got Allen free. He's got McConnell in support. He'll utilise that player. Looks back in the middle and then dummies around an opponent. And Perkins tries to go around a second one and does it easily past Butcher. Kicks it inside 50. One-on-one contest now. Archie too strong for Fisher on that occasion. Fisher then lays a high tackle and the relieving free kick will go to Polton deep in defensive territory for the Magpies. The other player that has come in for Glenelg is David Mitchell. So 4 changes there. Keen to have a look at Travis Spoke wearing Guernsey number 29 today and see how he goes on debut for the Glenelg side. As the kick goes out to the outer centre wing, Biaggi finding a bit of space early, getting a bit of freedom, kicks inboard towards Dolling. Dolling through the middle of the ground, kicks long to the lead of Kyle Jenner. Diving attempt, wonderful mark. That is a fantastic mark. The ball will obviously be fairly slippery today, and it's at its best right now in the early stages of the game, but diving full length, rather like Adam Gilchrist might tonight going down the league side if Sean Tate sprays a few wide. And that's all right. The
it's
next
a
one
W. It's a wicket or a wide with Mr. Tate.
Yeah, that's right. The next one will be a searing in-swinging Yorker on leg stump as Jenner comes in now. Deliberate shot on goal. He's missed that. It is tough conditions down today. Watching shots for goal in the reserve side down to that end. Players rarely were able to find the space between the middle 2 sticks. And on that occasion, Jenner's score is only a minor one for the Magpies, but that is the opening score of the game. They lead by that margin for Energy Saver products. Look to the future. The Port Adelaide are 1 behind. Glenelg yet to score.
So Luke Panozzo with the designated kicking in duties for the Tigers this afternoon. Best player rated last week against the Bloods here, when the Tigers had most of the play on the scoring shots, yet found a way to lose. Magpies a similar story against the double lose. Comes to ground, Moore picks it up, kicks it over his shoulder. Biaggi with a good mark. He has been very busy early, and actually been surprised going forward how much space the Magpies have had this early in the game. He kicks it towards our crowded forward area, comes to ground. Rudolph trying to pick it up, does so now. He just puts it on the leg going along, and Jajora and Biaggi try to get it. Biaggi thumps it to Jajora, comes back in board now to Carr, and again Magpies with space. Now he looked in board there for Perry in the middle of the mud pit, so decided to go forward. Murphy had it, couldn't take the mark, and again it's just kick, bounce, grab, kick pretty much this afternoon. Meiklejohn has it about 70 out, brings it across to Butcher. Butcher with a running player in the helmet, and that kick going towards goal will be wide and awry. And just picking up the number...
Di
Pasquale, number 15, of course. He did cop one in the head badly last year, John, and hence the helmet.
Yes, we saw Luke Ball for St Kilda also wearing likewise at Amy Stadium last night as the boundary throw-in takes place. Logan gets to the front. He's going to grab that one out of the rucking contest. Brave decision in front of goal. And, in fact, no, it wasn't for holding the ball, as may have thought there was a free off the ball in the rucking contest, holding on against Cranston. It'll go to Meiklejohn of Port Adelaide, so he will get a set shot for goal from 20 metres out. Fantastic opportunity for the Port Adelaide Magpies side here. Really need to capitalise on opportunities such as this in what is going to be difficult and tricky conditions today. So it's a rucking infringement against Cranston, the former Sydney Swan. A deliberate approach now, runs in a straight line, kicks it reasonably straight. The wind grabs hold of it though, and through for a minor score. So Port Adelaide are 2 behind. Glenelg yet to score. Special comments today, West Adelaide's Jesse Smith, and Jesse, Port Adelaide just not taking the early opportunities at the moment.
They've had a few opportunities now, and they just can't seem to get it between the big sticks. But they've had all the play, so hopefully they can get one in soon.
So Panozzo's got it. Second time to kick in. It was just rebounding off half-back. The Magpies have put a wall around there at the moment. Panozzo a bit indecisive. Now he's not so sure. Comes forward with the kick. Heads about 60 out, right down the middle of the ground. A big thump over the back there by Perkins. Comes to Backwell. He gets the handball out to Kane. Suddenly Glenelg got a bit of space on centre wing out of side. The quick kick along. It's a Pagan's paddock situation. Doherty comes out. That's Mitchell comes out. He's 70 out. He was the closest man to goal. Just a high kick looking for McConnell, who's run onto it, got collected. And this is the silly part of football, because every shot for goal this afternoon...
You might see a report here, Phil.
Yeah, well, certainly the Glenelg players come to fly the flag, which is a bit silly because this is a 25-metre, which is a difficult shot, 30 out, and now it's going to be right in front. And the Troy Butcher, former Tiger, back to his former club.
Might just come off the ground for that one.
And McConnell comes in, could not miss from there. He kicks it into the street. That's halfway to the tram line. Tigers have the first goal on the board. They're 1 straight, the Magpies 2 behinds.
As we see Troy Butcher coming off the ground for that indiscretion, Jesse Smith. So Coach Tim Jennifer obviously making an early statement that discipline's going to be very important today.
Yeah, you just can't afford to give those sort of free kicks away so close to goal, because goal's going to be very hard to come by on days like this, and that's just silly.
You wonder if now Butcher was a former Glenelg player. You think that's the motivation for something like that sometimes, just to try and fire up playing against your old club?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't know if I should say this, but we have targeted players that played with us last year that now aren't with us. So, yeah, that's definitely for sure.
As Glenelg will win the centre clearance now, Logan gets the handball up towards Boak. He gets his opening possession, a left foot kick towards half forward, but the Magpies have the numbers there. Di Pasquale wins possession of the ball. It's punched about half back by Mules. He follows up on it. In comes a diving Logan over the top of the ball. His handball was intercepted. Then he got it back. It a bit like a volleyball out there with the ball bobbing around everywhere just inside the centre square, slightly forward of centre for the Port Adelaide side. The ball heads down towards Cranston. He dives in as he tries to get tackled by Meiklejohn, who picks up possession of the ball. Cranston diving in again, tackles Summerton. Getting a high one there was Boak. He played on, got the ball over towards Murphy, and Glenelg might win the clearance now after a fair scrap across half-back. Ruel got possession of the ball, was pushed in the back as he was kicked. Umpire said play on. It got stuck in the water in the middle. Strong tackle from Mitchell and also a strong bump from Murphy. Good umpiring though. The umpires haven't paid any sort of soft Tiki Touchwood frees thus far, which would make it difficult for the players in these conditions today, allowing them to crash in and see a good old-fashioned physical contest as Benny Moore gets his head over the ball and then gets his head buried in the mud, thanks to Mark Dolling on that occasion. But thankfully for the former Glenelg skipper, there isn't too much hair on the cranium right now, Phil, so it won't be too difficult for him to wipe it clean.
Well, Josh Taylor from the Magpies cops some mud in the eye in the reserves, and as the ball goes into the mud pit, and wisely Boak just sockers it off the ground into some clear grassed area. Race for the ball, Somerton leading. Carr trying to provide a shepherd. Carr tries to go back and get it up now. Glenelg have picked it up. Just a quick kick on the boot. Comes inside forward, looking for Smith. Smith makes front position. Drilled not to be pushed in the back. Comes clear now. Magpies actually have a bit of space to work with. Quick kick away. Nothing finessing about today. It's important to play in front. Jajura trying to do that now. Trying to pick up the ball. Bumped off it. Rudolph picks it up. Gets the hand pass across to Mules. Mules, it's coast to ground. Umpire has found a free. And it will go back to Rudolph with the lovely ponytail.
Looks a solid player, doesn't he, in the first few games this year, Sam Rudolph?
From the Box Hill Reserves, won their best in first at reserves level last year. Got a teammate now, half-back flank. Glenelg looking to steady it up. They are going into the breeze, and they have the lead. Comes on board now, Benny Morse. Goes to his knees, takes the mark in the middle of the challenge recruitment mud puddle that's there on this wing. The kick, well, underestimated that one as it comes off the side of the boot. Player there tries to take the pack. Was he taken high? Panozzo comes in to tackle Slattery. Mules in their place, just throwing themselves at the body. If you like a physical game of football, Jesse Smith, I think you're going to get one this afternoon.
Yeah, it's definitely a good game to watch. They're throwing their bodies in, and that's what you have to do in the wet, just get in first.
Grandstand centre wing, Smith in front of Meiklejohn. Meiklejohn jumps over the top, wins the tap. Benny Moore is experienced today, just keeps his head over the ball, gets another possession to Willoughby, to Backwell, feeds it back to Willoughby. They're going backwards to try and go forwards now, Glenelg, and Kane's kick takes it back to where that chain of handballs first started. Boak then took the mark, gave it over to Fisher. Fisher kicks Glenelg just inside 50. McConnell playing from behind has interfered with Polton on that occasion, and he will get a free kick for in the back. In fact, it won't go to Polton, it'll go back further to Daniel Lees, the player that came on to replace Troy Butcher moments ago from the interchange bench as he kicks over towards Somerton. He'll give it over to Polton now. Still inside defensive 50, the Magpies. They haven't gained any yardage, and all they've done is put themselves over the other side of the ground, which is the defensive side of the ground, really, given they're kicking with the breeze. Perhaps not the smartest players. The kick there from Polton, as you see, was carried by the breeze over the boundary line. Slightly defensive side of centre for the Port Adelaide side. About 95 metres around from the Glenelg goal. We've been going 9 minutes for Energy Saver products. Look to the future. Glenelg are one straight kick. The Magpies are two behinds as Glenelg soccer the ball forward. Logan, the player leading the chase for the ball. It bounced nicely for Carr. Logan was forced to tackle, and the ball came out in the tackle, and the tackle was held on too long, according to the umpire, and Tommy Carr will win the resultant free kick. He's got a player free on centre wing in Dolling. He finds that player, takes the mark, outer side of the ground. Not a large gathering on the outer today. They're all in the stands and under the shelter here at Challenge Recruitment Oval as the kick from Dolling looked to go along towards Waterhouse, but there was a free off the ball back towards where Dolling was kicking it from against Harry Miller, and the free will go to Josh Willoughby, who, Phil Herden, has started this game in very promising fashion.
Yeah, I saw the game against the Double Blues. He finished that well, and of course, former Tiger coming back from a couple of years Sydney Swans, where he did very well in the ACTAFL competition but couldn't get a Guernsey at AFL level. As the Tigers trying to go forward again, a low kick in front is the name of the game this afternoon. That's what Mark Clayton did. He just sends it back from whence it came. This time comes to the back of the pack. Handball from to Panozzo. He's looking for Kane. Set up by Slattery, comes over the top now with Jenner. Jenner on the centre wing. He sends it out looking for Miller. Will it sit for him? And he can't. It just skids through his hands. It's that kind of day, and it will be a ball up about 45 out from the Magpie girls, right in front of the slouts that come rain, hail or shine. They're cheering on their Tigers this afternoon.
Braving the elements, and good to see those lads there. They'll be vocal out there today. They'll be well heard by the players today as well.
Absolutely.
With the wind coming over the lout's shoulders to carry the message out into the ground.
Exactly right. As Fisher picks it up for Moore looking for the boundary line, smothered by Jajora. So Fisher comes in, taps it straight at the boundary line. Magpies are saying, why wasn't that deliberate? And I suspect we're going to see a lot of those today, given the conditions. So take two. Throw in 40 metres out. Magpies goal. The Tigers into the breeze lead 1 goal. The Magpies just the 2 points. As it comes down to about defensive 50, picked up beautifully by Lees. He just puts it straight on the boot, top of the square. Waterhouse is there. He's up against Rudolph. There's experience versus rookie. As Rudolph taps it forward, Waterhouse coming around to try and get hold of Murphy. Ball still loose. Waterhouse goes down and gets it. Great job by Murphy. against the odds to get it to Kane. Kane with the kick towards centre wing. 1-on-1 contest between Smith and Perry. Comes back towards the Tigers now, still at centre wing. Handball into Ruwalt. The kick, again, it's a low kick smother. Who's in front here? Race for the ball. Tiger player brings it to ground. He's just crawling, thumps it forward. But Magpies have the numbers. And that's someone who's been a great player in the early rounds. Picks it up. He's got his teammate there in Jajora. Jajora's kick, though, is mistimed, and it is marked by Cranston.
Juggling mark by Trevor Cranston, positioned himself well there on the ruckman on the back play. Feeds inboard to Fisher. Fisher towards Rudolph. He's going to try and step around a couple of Magpies, gets himself into a bit of bother and forced to kick around his body and thus misses his target in Murphy. It was picked up by his direct opponent in Biakshi. Biakshi had deep Pasquale free. He spilt the chest mark. You'll see a bit of that today, but he's got time to pick it up. Bang it to the top of the square. It's going to go through, I think, for a minor score. It misses to the outer side. It does. So the Port Adelaide side have kicked their third behinds now. One to James Micklejohn, one to Kyle Jenner, and one now to Christian D. Pasquale. So for Energy Saver products, look to the future. The Magpies are 3 behinds. That is half of Glenelg's total, who have only 1 scoring shot, but it is a major and totals 6 behinds, 14.5 minutes played in the opening term at Challenge Recruitment Oval. Kirkby receives the kick in from Panozzo, goes short to Rudolph, and the Tigers are still defensive side of the centre square. Brought the ball down the grandstand side, though, which we haven't seen that happen too often thus far today, given the defensive side of the ground will be the outer side today. Kicks dangerously inboard to Backwell. The ball set up high for Port Adelaide to affect the spoil. Willoughby took possession, gave it back to Rudolph. Rudolph to Panozzo. Panozzo doesn't panic with the ball, steps around one, chips in short, looking for Boak on that occasion. It went over his head. Meiklejohn battling at ground level as his car. And Benny Muir's doing a fine job for the Glenelgs. No, tackled, holding the ball on that occasion, the umpire deems. And the 200-gamer in Port skipper Mark Clayton tried to play it on, but it'll have to go back to the player that laid the initial tackle on Cranston on that occasion, and that will be Tommy Carr.
So Carr has it. About 80 out from goal, sends it inside forward, 50. Player there on the lead. He swallows it half volley, claiming the mark. Umpire says no, that bounced first. And that player was Jenner, who's been busy early. Umpire-wise, he just throws it into the air. Micklejohn straight to Jenner. Jenner, the hand pass to Summerton. Open space, shoots for goal, keeps it low, and sends it home. First goal for the Magpies, 16-minute mark of the first quarter. They take the lead. Port Adelaide 1-3-9, Glenelg 1-6. Jesse, who said scoring in the wet was hard? That looked pretty easy.
That goal came from Daniel Batson, who just ran straight off the bench then and just put it straight down the throat of the Port on baller, and he was lucky enough to finish off. So good work from Daniel Batson. Yeah,
it was almost as if it perhaps caught Cranston off guard. He's looking around for Meiklejohn. All of a sudden he wasn't there. Batson snuck in nicely, as we see Troy Butcher walking the boundary line now. Looks like he's going to be reintroduced to this game. Taken off about 10 minutes ago for disciplinary reasons, giving away an unnecessary high infringement on McConnell, which gave Glenelg their opening goal. But the Magpies have the lead now by 3 points, 9-6, as Glenelg go forward through Boak. A left foot kick goes up towards Smith, playing in front, has time to wheel around, chip inside 50. The lead comes from Mitchell, not 15, play on, says the umpire. He throws a torpedo punt on the boot that goes over the back of the pack and through for a behind. A minor score on that occasion. Mitchell is a booming kick. That gives you an indication how strong that breeze was. He got onto a torpedo, and it still only went about 35 metres into that breeze. So it's a pretty significant breeze favouring the end to which Port Adelaide is kicking in this opening quarter. Glenelg 1-1-7. Port a 1-3-9 as the kick-in comes in. Glenelg go back towards their goal line. Logan takes possession, gives it back to Backwell, steps around. Jarjura, no he doesn't. He's well tackled by Jarjura. Trying to get a shot on goal, and Jarjura, this is a lack of discipline. The second occasion for this team from a Port Adelaide player. Jarjura was very, very upset and frustrated. The umpire didn't pay holding the ball when he tackled Backwell. Backwell handled the ball out of bounds, and Jarjura went on with the tackle and almost just dumped Backwell with a half sort of left, half Nelson.
And the runner came out, didn't even have to go within 30 metres of Jury. He knew what was coming up. He's coming off.
Brian Lee's the runner for Port Adelaide. Jarjura straight off, and Jenner coming on to replace him. So it's a lack of frustration, and really it's not good enough, Jesse Smith, at that level. Two occasions from Port Adelaide players today.
Yeah, it's just the same as before. You can't afford to do it so close to goal because it is going to be costly.
So Backwell needs to start at left. He does start at left. That's a super kick. He's a wonderfully skilled player, and the Mouse has made Port Adelaide pay the ultimate price with that set shot for goal. So they have kicked goals from infringements against Butcher and Jardura, and they've resulted in goals to McConnell and Backwell alike. So for Energy Saver products, look to the future. Glenelg are 2-1-13. Port Adelaide are 1-3-9. A 4-point lead to the Tigers. 18.5 minutes in the opening quarter against the Breeze. A good result for Glenelg thus far, Jesse Smith.
Yep, every time they get at the end there, they seem to get a score where Port just can't get a shot on goal. Glenelg are getting their players back and just causing the blockage up in their forward line.
Yeah, well, discipline is basically giving Glenelg 2 goals and giving them a 4-point lead to set into a pretty strong win. It comes now, the Tigers will go forward, hand pass Logan to Kane. His high kick holds up, was going to go inside 50, now it's going towards the Magpies goal. Allen taps it back for Backwell, this time tackled fairly, comes to Biarchi at the back of the pack. He's got a bit of space, he runs through the lines from centre wing, sends it inside forward 50. You can see the difference in the Breeze, the way that ball carried. Rudolph against Epasquale with Willoughby in hot pursuit. It was 3 Tigers v 1 Magpie. And in the end, probably Port happy that one went out of bounds.
Phil, a question for you. What the book did come out against Jardura there. What would he be reported for there, do you think? Just rough conduct?
Attempted strike, maybe? I don't know. I mean, he did flick his arms at him.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you get down to, was it open hand? Was it closed hand? Did he connect? Was it intentional? Maybe that one, not too much doubt. It was off the play. The ball was out of bounds. As the throw-in comes in, umpires found a free. So we're just starting to see a few frees from these ruck infringements, Jesse.
Yeah, no, they just got to be careful in the wet. If you get in front, you've got more chance to get a free kick, so you've got to be careful playing from behind.
So now the ball comes across goals, the Tigers, which you always reckon on a day like today is fraught with danger, because no mark is a given as Fisher goes back from whence he came. Glenelg have had it for 20 seconds, it's gone nowhere as Moore goes forward. Now here comes the turnover as Dolling intercepts, umpire pays the mark. He's 55 metres out. Now he goes with a short kick looking for Biarchi, again lobs at the ankles. Mule's there at the pressure, socket off the ground. It's a pack developing. Depasquale picked it up. And because he went first to the ball, we've got a free kick for over the shoulder. And Depasquale will have a chance to put the Maggies in front.
He milked that for all it was worth, that's for sure. Definitely wasn't there, that one.
Certainly made sure the umpire saw it, flung the head back, and the free kick paid to Depasquale, who has kicked it behind earlier in the quarter. So we'll be looking to square the ledger up there as Harry Miller is going to come off and be replaced by Gates for Port Adelaide. But the action, similarly for Glenelg, Ty Allen coming off to be replaced now by Ruwalt, who has had a little rest for a few minutes on the bench as Depasquale comes in with his trusty left foot. It's a pretty good-looking kick. Goal umpire doesn't move. It's a very important strike for the Port Adelaide side. They get their second. They move on to 2 goals, 3-15. And the Glenelg side, 2-1-13, 2-point lead in favour of Port Adelaide. Special comments today from West Adelaide's Jesse Smith.
He did well there. All he had to do was get in first to the ball, and he did that well. That's what you do in the wet, and you're always going to get a free kick because players just come diving from everywhere. So he milked it, but it was there.
Yeah, playing in front, you think would have to be the rule of the day, especially if you're a Port Adelaide defender, because that ball is going to drop coming into the Tigers' line for the rest of the first quarter. Looks like we're into time on. And even though the Magpies are leading, you would say the spoils with the Tigers, given the strength of the Breezes. Cranston goes up and missed it completely. Batson tries to send it forward. Players again diving in everywhere. The ball's at ground level. Comes loose now. Moore, can he run onto it? He left it behind. Biarchi going in now. Pack descends, and that should be it. Should mention that there's a huge mud puddle where the Glenelg Cricket Club pitches are. They did ball the ball up there in the reserves, but they had a area to the side there for the league to ball it up, which looked beautiful early on, but the rain has made a mess of that now. It's almost as bad as the centre pitch as the throw-in.
Feel good to see Glenelg all quarter as well, kicking against a strong Breeze. Haven't played a loose man or two in defence, just backing their defenders in to do the job.
No, we got the old-fashioned flooding today here at Challenge Recruitment. She has been a wet one, although the rain that was very heavy and during patches of the reserves has dropped off. I think the umbrella's still off, so probably down to a light drizzle. We're at the back of the grandstand in closed box. Thank you very much to the Glenelg Footy Club for getting us here, that's for sure, as it comes out of the pack. And Porch is driving it forward as Butcher hands it for Jenna. Jenna picks it up by the boundary line, goes for Depasquale. They're on their hands, they're on their knees. And again, another ball in. I think we're going to see a fair bit of this afternoon. The ball on the outer side. The breeze, if you know the Glenelg Oval, is pretty much blowing right into the scoreboard. So it does favour the southern school end, but it is also a bit of a cross breeze towards the city side of the ground. Comes to Ruwalt, quickly kick over his shoulder, looking for Smith, opposed to Perry. Smith manages to pick it up now, gets the kick away, collected after he kicked it, no free kick, and this one falls short. I think that was Archie who picks it up. He comes across, might have been Clayton who picks it up. He just bangs it on the boot. Heads inside forward 50. Tigers in front. Picks it up, and that kick is an absolute
He's going to mark it himself.
And it almost does. That was Kirkby, who's then collected. And again, that one ill-disciplined by Gates. 50-50 ball, crude tackle, proving the difference.
And of course, Phil, the other late change for Port Adelaide that we didn't get a chance to allude to before, Jeremy Clayton not out there today and will be much missed by his side, the McGarry medalist.
Absolutely. The socket ball comes to Willoughby. Willoughby right by the boundary line, tackled, thrown by Biachi, and John, will be a ball up right in front of the Live FM commentary crew, Phil Hurd and Jesse Smith and John Simons. 24 minutes gone in the opening term here at Challenge Recruitment for Energy Saver products. Look to the future. Glenelg 2-1-13, Port 2-3-15. They're kicking with the agency of a pretty strong breeze, so it's a good result thus far for the home team as Murphy takes possession of the ball. He gets well tackled on that occasion, and the ball will go nowhere. So bounce down to take place. Grandstand centre wing. Cranston has rucked all quarter for the Glenelg side. Of course, Lachlan Button, the Sacred Heart College prodigy, playing his debut league game today, still on the interchange bench at the moment. So at some stage, perhaps through the second quarter, we might see the introduction of Lachlan Button to senior football as the Cranston wins the tap down again. Bit of niggle between him and Batson off the ball on that occasion. Perkins lays the tackle on Ruwalt, and we'll see another bounce down. That was holding against Batson. That's just frustration. Again, lack of discipline on that occasion. They were niggling each other, and Batson grabbed hold of Cranston unnecessarily, so the Tigers win the free kick, go towards half forward. McConnell playing in front, looking for a free against Lees. Lees did it well, and the ball trickles over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in on left half forward for the Glenelg side. They're bringing the changes. Boak comes off for a spell to be replaced by Allen, and Lally comes on as well to replace Ruwald. As Smith in front. Will he get the free kick? No, it's another free off the ball, so we'll go to the big ruckman in Batson on this occasion. The handball options have dried up now, so the big fella will be forced to kick, and it's well, it's an underground kick, should we say, and it slides through the mud, and it might just favour the Port Adelaide side. No, Gates lost the handle on the ball on that occasion. A few players sliding into the puddle on that occasion, one of them being Byron Murphy for the Glenelg side, laying the tackle, and the umpire again in Chris Carey will be forced to bounce it down inside the centre square, half forward for Port Adelaide. Perkins can't take possession of the ball. Mark Clayton on hands and knees, dives over, gets possession of it, and then was tackled high. So free kick against Ruwalt will go to the 200-game skipper for the Port Adelaide side. Feeds it off to Deep Pasquale. He's on his non-preferred kicking boot on his right on that occasion. Kicks towards half forward. Kirkby leads in the chase to the ball. Panozzo's there. Cranston over the top of the ball. He can't get it out, and the umpire says he didn't get it out. Free kick now to be taken for Port Adelaide by, let's have a look, Gates is the recipient, 52, 53 metres out. Kirkby has got 10 metres. He's asking the umpire. He didn't run across the mark, but he ran within the 5 metre arc that he shouldn't be running. I understand because he did run behind Gates, but there's a 5 metre arc.
Yeah, he was.
Back to the Challenge Recruitment Oval now, and the boys out there.
Thank you very much, KJ. To get us back underway, here's your caller, John Simons.
So the resumption in play. Ball goes out to the outer centre wing. Boak with his head over the ball. It dribbles through a handball towards Cranston, who gets one likewise over towards Mules. Logan was able in better position to take possession of the ball. He did so, but the kick carried over the boundary line and out of bounds on the full on the outer centre wing. The free will be taken for for Port Adelaide by Clive Waterhouse on the outer side of the ground. In fact, no, it's Lees, Daniel Lees. He takes possession of the ball, kicks it towards half forward. It's over the head of Kirkby. Mark Clayton, favoured by the bounce of the ball, gets it by hand now towards Slattery, piercing his way through, can't get through. Tackle laid. The umpire says play on. Port Adelaide player looking for the free kick. Logan also looking for one not taken high. The umpire says Glenelg will win the clearance though through Kirkby. Kicks it long towards the outer centre wing. Mules, oh, great mark. Going back with the flight of the ball, took it cleanly in his hands. You won't see a lot of that today. It was courageous and it was skillful from the current Glenelg captain, the lad from Kalangadoo. Kicks it towards half forward. Byron Murphy playing in front, can't take the mark. He taps it out towards to accommodate Backwell. He slides in over the ball, took possession of it. Was he taken high? No. Yes, he was, says the umpire. And the reigning Magarey medalist will get the free kick 60 metres out from the Glenelg goal, but kicking from the scoreboard pocket there. So the wind is not going to favour him from there. It's a strong wind, gusting right over towards that scoreboard that tells us Port Adelaide still maintain their 3-point quarter-time lead. Backwell kicks it towards the top of the goal square. It'll be one for the Crummers on this occasion. It's picked up for Glenelg by Logan. He was trying to get around Di Pasquale and in the end he lost his footing and couldn't do so and lost possession of the ball, and Di Pasquale took possession of it, kicks it towards the outer boundary line and safely finds the boundary line for a throw-in about 80 metres around from the Tigers' goal. Just filling you in with some key statistical details at quarter time. Thanks to Bernie McNamara and the Glenelg team for their support there. Important one, interesting one, Phil. Glenelg with 96 possessions for the first quarter, Port Adelaide 53.
And the handballs.
And the handballs was Glenelg 45, Port Adelaide only 10. Leading possession winner on the ground is Ben Kane with 10, Benny Moore with 8 and Josh Willoughby with 9, whilst for Port Adelaide, Mark Clayton and Christian Di Pasquale led the way with 6 apiece.
Well, Willoughby got another possession to kick it forward. It's about 60 out from the Tigers' goal. Logan manages to pick it up. He snaps it over his left shoulder and it will be marked by Perry, although umpire says was touched off the boot. So it's another throw-in right in front of the challenge recruitment scoreboard. No change to the quarter-time score. We've played just a couple of minutes. During the break, the rain started coming down a little bit heavily, and that windsock on the scoreboard, she's horizontal. It is a very strong breeze here this afternoon. Mickeljohn got the tap down. Carr goes and gets a good blocking. Got the kick away before Fisher descended. Biaggi had it. He lost it. Picked up now by the Tigers. The kick inside forward 50. Doherty gets a fist to it, and he'll thump it out of bounds. So it is a war of attrition. Very hard to get any clear movement forward today. And whatever, do they replace the balls at quarter time usually?
Yeah, they often do.
So that ball that started dry is getting like a brick very quickly. Throw in 20 metres around from the Tigers' goal. They do trail this one by a couple of points. Smith with the tap down. Straight to a pile of players. Umpire circling free. Di Pasquale just taps it forward only as far as Backwell. Backwell, little dummy kick straight to Gee, he said, I'll take the mark. It only went 3 metres. Bursting through the pack now is Smith. Don't know how he did that. He just put it on the boot to the top of the square. And Mitchell had it, lost it, couldn't take the mark. And umpire has said you infringed anyway. And John Simons, that'll be Magpies ball.
Jared Polton is the recipient. So he's tucked away in the Glenelg goal square. So deep in defensive territory. He's going to look short for Carr, as he knows. He's going to go longer now. Outer side of the ground. It's been intercepted by Smith. Takes the mark. He's looking for Summit, and it was well read by the big fella. And he chips in and takes the mark 25 metres out on that scoreboard. It will be a tough shot for goal. And I'm sorry, lads, but I can't back the big fella in to kick this one.
Well, I would say aim for us and let the wind take it through.
Mind you, it's a very, very good first quarter. Jeff Smith worked tremendously hard across half forward. Only picked up the 3 possessions, but he gave a lot of drive and a lot of presence, I thought, in that first quarter, leading Perry to the ball on numerous occasions. As he comes in, a deliberate set shot for goal, and he will miss it, I think, to the outer side. He does. That's the near side for him. Through 4, a minor score. So Glenelg reduced the quarter-time deficit now from 3 points down to 2. They are 2-2-14. Port Adelaide at 2-4-16. So 2-point lead to the Magpies 4 minutes into the second quarter, thanks to Energy Saver products. A look to the future.
So the kick comes in, beautiful mark there to the Maggies, and that's the captain in Mark Clayton, taking a couple of good marks and being a key player, rebounding out of defence. Clayton now has the ball, kicks it towards the centre wing. Pack goes to it, heads towards the boundary line. Players running forward. Umpire's found it free, John. It's going to be the Magpies.
It'll go to Summerton, outer side of the ground. He's going to look to play on. No, he's got a 25-metre penalty. in actual fact. So it'll take him towards right half forward. Outer side of the ground for the Magpies, so a chance to go inside 50 here. Miller gives him a lead, as does Jenner now. He's going to chip in short, though, and finds Dolling out there. He's going to have to go back towards Summit, and he'll kick it in on the left boot now to the top of the square. It's holding up with the breeze. Rudolph in front. Decides to go the safety option first and punch the ball today. Glenelg got the numbers there at ground level. It goes to Allen, feeds him, excuse me, inboard towards Backwell. Backwell is going to kick laterally. It could be dangerous today. It doesn't get past Mark Clayton. Looking for Rudolph, but the execution wasn't good on that occasion. Porter go inside 50, playing in front, not able to take the mark. Was Summited on that occasion. The ball comes up to Harry Miller. He gets a shot on goal. It was wonderfully stopped, almost goalkeeper-like by Rory Kirkby on that occasion. That was amazing.
He stuck the mid up, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked like it was going to... Well, it was heading towards goal. Kirkby touched it and then managed to grab hold of it. It was very Bruce Grobbelaar-like. The Liverpool goalkeeper from the 80s, obviously, is... as Logan flies high for the mark, it's taken by Cranston. Cranston feeds it on the up now towards Kane. His kick towards grandstand centre wing was picked up for Port Adelaide by Lees. Kicks it inside 50 over the back of the pack. Harry's there again. He can't soccer it past Kirkby again on this occasion. It's picked up now by LeCraft for Port Adelaide. Gets it back towards... No, it's going to come to Glenelg now. They'll relieve the pressure through Allen. Allen's got Blake short, and he will go back and settle things down for Glenelg. Still inside defensive 50, with his side still trailing by 2 behinds. Kicks in short towards Rudolph. Rather laconically takes possession of the ball, slips around Slattery, and then the ball slips off the side of the boot. It may favour Backwell. No, he's unable to get possession of it as it goes out of bounds for a boundary throw. And directly in front of our broadcast position here in the grandstand here at Glenelg Oval, or Challenge Recruitment as it is now been rebranded. The Tigers trail by 2 behinds.
Probably the scariest thing is trying to read how the ball will bounce. It depends whether it hits a puddle, a bash of water, or a hard bit of surface.
Their workmates, sorry, as well, Phil. Troy Butcher and Brett Backwell. So Troy is Brett's boss, so he might have just been getting rid of some of his frustrations there.
Well, maybe Brett will have to back him up a little bit at the tribunal a bit later. But comes out now. It's at 50 metres out from the Magpies' goal. The Tigers trying to pick it up. Can't do so. Clayton had it over around the ball. Just soccering it forward now. Picked up here by Boak, who gets the kick away to Fisher. Fisher just puts it on the boot. In front, that's where you have to be with Smith. Couldn't take the mark. Comes out to Perkins. Perkins looking for De Pasquale. Again, the battle for the boundary line. Look, it's pretty unpretty football. It's desperate football. Don't forget the status of these two teams coming in. The Magpies a shock loss at Alberton, no less, blowing a 20-point lead against the Double Blues. The Tigers, 2 losses against last year's 2 teams in the basement. Desperately need a win to avoid starting zip and 3. The ball up comes in. Wirral takes the ball. The Magpies take him, and it's another ball up. Played about 7-8 minutes of the second quarter. Just a couple of behinds scored thus far. It is the Magpies still by 2 points. As Murphy just gets it and handballs it straight to the middle of the mud puddle. Comes in now to Biaggi. Biaggi to Jajura, who kicks it over the mud. That was a good idea. Comes towards centre half forward. Again left behind. Tigers are there in numbers. Picked up by Cranston. He kicks it towards the outer boundary line. Not a Tiger in sight. De Pasquale should get there early. Does so now. He's got Biaggi in board. Finds him. First bounce. Actually sits up nicely. Biaggi a chance to get a bit of speed up and head towards the outer side. And a beautiful mark, John Simons, to young Slattery.
He's going to wheel in board. Runs onto the left now. Straightens up onto his right. Kicks it inside 50. Looking for Jajura. He's well positioned. Just read the drop of the ball better than his direct opponent in Rory Kirkby on that occasion. And the former Double Blue can seek to atone for some of his misdemeanours in that opening quarter by nailing a much-needed goal for the Port Adelaide side. But mind you, from 35 metres out directly in front, given the weather conditions we have here today at Challenge Recruitment Oval down at Glenelg, it will be a tough assignment to drill this one from here. But he is a thumping kick, Luke Jajura, so he just needs to make good natural contact with the ball on this occasion. He comes in. He may have missed it out to the right. He has. He got good purchase on the ball on that occasion, but he kicked it towards the middle of the goals, and the wind just grabbed hold of it and ended up going through halfway between the right-hand goal post and point post for a behind for the Double Blue side. One to Luke Jajura. So Port Adelaide restore their 3-point quarter-time lead now for Energy Saver products. Look to the future. They are 2-5-17. Glenelg are 2-2-14. 3-point lead. Phil Herden.
So Panozzo with the ball again. He's had a bit of kicking practice. The Magpies 2-5 from numerous forward sorties this afternoon. Looking for Cranston and Micklejohn. Comes down, and Miller picks it up, gets the quick kick away before Murphy can take him. Can Clayton do something? That's Mark Clayton. Jura has it, he's lost it, comes to Mark Clayton, the 200 gamer with the kick off the boot. Biaggi, Socceroo style, nails the goal. And that was a bit like pulling teeth, but we got there. The Magpies won into the wind. They are 3-5-23. The Tigers 2-2-14.
Good play by Port then. They just kept moving it forward, and no matter how they did it, they kicked it off the ground, punched it, they didn't care, they just got it forward, and that's what happens. They get a quick goal.
This is a very important goal into that breeze, but mind you, the breeze can be a bit of a misnomer on days like today because it's so wet and tough conditions that though the kick goes a bit further, it's still not always easy to set up scoring opportunities inside 50. So you can score against it, as Port Adelaide were able to do on that occasion, and they win the centre clearance. Summerton received the tap down from Mickeljohn, kicked it towards half forward. Head over the ball was Willoughby on that occasion. He was tackled without possession of the ball, and Glenelg will win the free kick. It comes to their former skipper now in Benny Moore. He kicks to the outer side of the ground. Cranston on a lead. It was spoilt by Mickeljohn. Ball slipped through the hands. Cranston recovered first, got possession of the ball. Got an accidental handball on that occasion towards Smith. He steps around one, kicks towards left half forward, and well positioned to take the mark was Deepa Squarley, but unable to do so in the slippery conditions. The ball slipped through his hands. It's picked up by Lee's. Chance now for Glenelg as Lee's handballed it forward. The Glenelg players are trying to say he did it so deliberately to the boundary line, but the umpire says nothing doing. 8.5 minutes in the second quarter, there will be a boundary throw in 55 metres around from the Tigers' goal. They're 2-2-14. Port Adelaide are 3-5-23, and the rain is coming down that little bit harder right at the moment. It's fairly driving rain with a strong breeze favouring the southern end. Boundary throw-in takes place. Stacks on the mill, so we'll see a bounce down now 45 metres out from the Glenelg goal. No player can get to that rucking contest. The wind just blew the ball away when it was thrown in the air. It was picked up by Perkins for Port Adelaide. Goes towards Dolling. He steps around one, can only gain about 20 metres on his kick into that breeze. Jura took possession of the ball. Tackled by Kirkby, but illegally, says the umpire. Tackled in the back, so the free kick will go to the Port Adelaide half forward, who is tucked away deep across half back to receive this free kick. He tries a clever little one towards Waterhouse, but Kane came in, did it well, tapped the ball up now towards Backwell. He's taken possession of it. Can he step around one? No, he can't, but there was a free kick off the ball. No advantage there for the Glenelg side, so it will go back now to be taken by Luke Panozzo.
So Panozzo, normally the kicking duties, has it centre wing out of side as the rain continues to team down. The Magpies' biggest lead of the game, 9 points here. Tigers haven't done anything with it into the breeze. They do kick it into forward 50. Kick is smothered. Again, Packer sends about 40 out. And if the umpires are being paid by ball up this afternoon, they are doing very well. Now the SANFL League footy this afternoon. 45 out from the Tigers' goal. Smith with a tap down comes to Waterhouse. He's playing in the back pocket at the second. I guess he's got to come up and try and get a kick. Logan has it. He's depossessed of the ball. In hard there was Perkins. Carr now lays a tackle on a Tiger. Out of bounds, another throw. And in front of the time clock, shows we've played 13 minutes of this second quarter. In this quarter, Glenelg have kicked one behind with the wind. Port Adelaide, 1 goal, 1 into it. So the time comes in, well, it just went to ground. No one got a touch. Mickeljohn tries and picks it up now. Player there in Dolling, it grabbed high and rewarded by going and getting the football. And John Hill
Phil, I guess one thing about the one thing about the rain today, this game each year traditionally draws about 4,000 to 5,000, 5,500 to Glenelg Oval. So that'll hurt the Tigers a little bit. The crowd numbers won't be as strong today given the weather conditions. Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, it is a day for the diehards and everyone who's out here listening to us on the radio. I hope you're staying as warm as you can, and you all deserve a medal. Make sure you get one from the club before you go home.
So Port Adelaide towards half forward now, going back with the flight of the ball, unable to take the mark was Butcher on that occasion. Glenelg player playing in front will receive the free kick. The player will be Rudolph as he emerges from about a 10-metre slide.
There's not a single player this side of the centre, is it?
No, it's going to be tough to score. It certainly is. As Deepa Squarley received the Rudolph kick, his handball was going to be picked up by a Glenelg player, but Deepa Squarley was tackled or held on too long in the tackle off the ball, so he'll receive the free kick. The offending player was Jeff Smith.
This is like the mini-league game. They're playing on half the oval.
Everything on the outer side of the ground as well. So those that paid their $9 and are sitting on the outer there are getting value for money today with the play being out there regularly. But they're not seeing a lot of scoring at the moment. That's not the players' fault. It's tough work and tough conditions out there as Glenelg go forward now towards half forward. Smith can't get involved in that marking contest in the end, nor could Mitchell, and the ball gets tapped over the boundary line, so it's 55, 60 metres out from the Glenelg goal. It has spent, well, we've been going about 15 minutes in this second quarter for Energy Saver Products. A look to the future, and I'd suggest 12 minutes of it has been tucked between about the 50-metre arc and the 80-metre mark from the Glenelg goal. Lots of boundary throw-ins and bounce downs in that area, and we'll see one of each again as the boundary throw-in takes place, and it will be substituted, Phil, by a bounce down.
That's right. Well, Matthew Gates has been waiting by the boundary line. The runner has to do a marathon to find a Magpie player to bring one off to substitute. And meanwhile, again, another ball up. And I just suspect that players are going to be a bit careful here, because I suspect we're going to see a free kick coming very shortly. It's still 55 out from the Tigers' goal, this time to the Magpies. They do get a very quick kick away. Jajura there, he's got 3 Tigers to beat. And if they tackle each other well, Kirkby and Rudolph. Rudolph now picks it up. Kicks it back from whence he came, and that's caught by, I think, Kane. Kane now sending inside forward 50 on the rebound for Fisher. Couldn't take the mark. Mitchell's there with the booming kick. Can't get 2 feet. Comes to Mills. Pops out of his hands. It is a mixture of a brick and a cake of soap.
That's it. It's not easy, though. You see Kane's kick there. He tried to kick it towards the middle of the ground, and the breeze just grabbed hold of it and again took it towards that boundary line. We've seen 2 bounce downs that no player were able to compete for, because the wind just carried hold of the ball and sailed it away from where the masses were standing. The ball comes in towards the middle of the ground now. Murphy can't get a handle on it. Socket towards Cranston, took possession of the ball. He was well tackled on that occasion, got back on top of the ball, thumped it forward for his side. Summerton attempted to pick the ball up and kick it, was unable to do so. Jajura trying to do the same now, handles it up to Clive, and Clive's kick heads straight out of bounds. It's for a free kick now to the Glenelg side, out of centre wing, as Harry Miller looked to be coming off the ground and then looked up and realised there was no one there to replace him. So he's turned around and run back onto the ground, and it is pelting down in our Glenelg Oval now. Absolute driving rain at the moment. It's that heavy. It's tough to see the players out there. And don't be surprised if we see some hail shortly, and that will be very uncomfortable for the players.
They've just gone and got another football.
It's because it went over into the tennis courts, I think. So 15 love out there on the... surprisingly, though, there's no one out there having a hit of tennis today, which is...
Surprisingly, yeah, exactly. Beautiful day for tennis, if you're a duck.
So, let's have a look. Fisher is the player that will receive the free kick. Everyone will be manned up from there. He's going to try and kick it towards the middle of the ground to half forward, but you watch the wind grab this one. He's trying to do that. Slews off the side of the boot. It'll head towards the outer boundary line again, where it's been for much of this quarter. It doesn't quite get out on this occasion. It's picked up for now. No, holding the ball is going to be paid against Glenelg. The free will go to Big Micklejohn, and he is tucked inside the defensive 50 for his side in front of the scoreboard that has Glenelg 2-2-14, Port Adelaide 3-5-23. His kick goes straight out of bounds on the full, so the kick will be taken by Backwell. But it's becoming pretty important now for Glenelg. Obviously, they are kicking with the aid of that breeze. They haven't kicked a goal this quarter. They really need to get at least one before half-time and just tighten things up, Jesse Smith.
Yeah, you can just see Glenelg are getting their numbers back, so every time Port kick it forward, they've got no one to kick to, so they're either putting it out on the full or kicking it straight to Glenelg. But Glenelg just have to use the ball better going into their forward line.
Need someone to bring it inboard. I mean, the middle of the ground is pretty wet, but there is a dry lane to bring it through. As they kick it forward, it's going to lob in a pack of about 15 players, almost held up for the mark. Kick comes loose, comes out for Boak, who had the ball. In fact, he's been tackled high.
No, took the mark in the end, Phil, but very, very clever from Ben Kane on that occasion.
And that was it, just try and bring it inboard a bit. And Boak, well, it's a debut game for him at Tiger level, which, given what happened to Willits early, probably wouldn't have seen him in the reserves for too much longer. Pick number 5 in the draft from the Geelong Falcons, comes in 20 out. Beautiful kick through the ball. Tigers get their first goal for the quarter. We're about to have some changes on the interchange bench, but it is the Tigers 3-2-20, trailing the Magpies 3-5-23.
Yeah, it was just a good kick by Ben Kane then. It was in a congested situation and centred it and hit Travis Boak on the chest, and that's what they've been lacking this quarter, just a bit of finesse going into the forward line, and they did it well that time.
Energy Saver Products, look to the future scoreboard, has Glenelg 3-2-20. Port Adelaide 3-5-23, 3-point margin. Harry Miller will finally get that spell now as a player has emerged to replace him, and that will be Gates on this occasion. So, centre square clearance now. Who can win this one? Tackled high on that occasion was Willoughby. Umpire says nothing doing. Play on, and play on they will, but the ball won't come out of that pack. So there will be a bounce down again a second one inside the centre square. The Tigers trail by 3 points. They'd dearly love one more to go in at half-time with the lead on the scoreboard. But again, that ball won't go anywhere from this pack. So we'll see a third bounce down, or should I say throw up in today's condition. Coming over the top, Cranston tried to thump it forward. But a nest of players there. That ball won't go anywhere. We'll see a fourth bounce down. Would be an interesting statistic to have taken today. Phil Herden.
I was just thinking the second one is the secondary, the third is the tertiary. Just trying to work out what the fourth one is. Anyway, it is a kick away. It's only gone a couple of metres. Magpies just trying to send it forward. Someone had it and lost it. You just can't call a clear possession. That one's socked off the ground by the Tigers through the mud pit. This time it's kicked forward into the water puddle. That's Waterhouse, I think, who's running the ball. In fact, correction, it's Lees.
Well done.
And it's just, they're playing soccer now. And it goes towards the boundary line. As Murphy, again, a bit of ill discipline, a bit of frustration, pushed Butcher. Umpire saw it, that was in the back. Magpies free, what would have been a throw-in situation. He'll send the Magpies forward. Poor kick. And McConnell takes the mark. He'll go across the ground, got a player there. Teammate who takes it, and he's defensive 50. Panozzo there, who's been getting plenty of kicks. Mainly he's been doing the kicking duties this afternoon.
Yep, injury.
And we do have an injured player. We'll get Jesse to just keep an eye on that for us. As the kick goes forward, beats the pack, spills loose towards the boundary line. Players diving. Beautiful work, I think, by Doling, who picks it up, sends it back towards forward 50, but a nice mark by the Tigers. In fact, umpires found a free.
In the
and
back,
John,
hands
here's
in
a
the back.
chance for the Magpies to go forward. I think that's Tajura with the ball.
Jenner will send them inside 50 now, and no, it's going to come back. The kick was going to go out of bounds on the full, but there was a free against Jardura off the ball, so some further ill discipline from the former double blues. So the kick will go back to where the ball was now, and the recipient or the beneficiary of that decision will be Luke Panozzo.
I seriously think the team that is the most disciplined this afternoon will probably end up winning this one.
Well, so far you'd suggest that that's not Port Adelaide on what we've seen thus far, as Benny Moore from across half-back kicks high. Boak coming into it, trying to attempt for the mark. It went over his head. It's picked up now by the aforementioned Boak. Gets the handball out in the direction of Kane. He's going to wheel around onto his left boot, kick it to the top of the square. Will it get through to the back? It does. Fisher aided by the bounce, but beaten by the boundary line. So boundary throw-in will take place. 23 and a half minutes. Still has a small amount of time left in this second quarter for Glenelg to be able to score as Jenner comes off. Again, there's no player there to replace him.
It's chaos at the Magpies interchange bench, isn't it?
A tad disorganised, we might say today, as Jenner replaced by Batson. Boundary throw-in. Can Glenelg score deep in attack? It comes towards Lally. Bounces through the pack. He was taken high, was he? No, the umpire says play on. It would have been a free kick 25 metres out from goal. Nothing doing. The players do play on. Arms waving everywhere as about 4 players are sitting on top of the ball, and another 4 players were tackling those 4 players, and the umpire says no decision there.
The other thing is, what are you doing having an interchange when the ball's in your opponent's forward line?
It's the wrong time, I'd have thought, and you'd think people would be standing there waiting to come on as well. Maybe they're trying to avoid the conditions. As Boak took possession of the ball, he was going to try an ambitious handball back in towards Panozzo. Found its target, but he was beaten by the boundary line 55 metres out from the Tigers' goal. They're 3-2-20. Port Adelaide are 3-5-23. 3 points is the difference between the two sides at this point in time. Boundary throw-in taking place. It goes over the back of the pack. It's picked up by Butcher. He gets a high kick up and under. Kane going back with a fly to the ball. Spilt the chest mark, and Jardura swooped on it, took possession of it, kicked it back towards a contest there between Rudolph and Waterhouse. Rudolph has dominated that one today, but it's weather conditions tailor-made for defenders today, and he has won a free kick, a high tackle going the way now of his teammate in Rory Kirkby. He's got a couple of options in board, but the wise thing would be to ignore those today and go the more direct route. They're thinking about going back to Panozzo, but again, the conditions today doesn't necessarily suit the overhandling of the ball, so Kirkby just decides to kick it towards half forward. Allen involved in the contest there, lays a tackle, and the ball will be bounced down. 24 and a half, perhaps 25 minutes ticked over now on the time clock. Glenelg are trailing by 3 points.
So it comes down to Butcher, whose kick is touched, heads again towards that boundary line. It's picked up, I think, by Slattery. As soon as he touches it, he's tackled. Meanwhile, interchange here as Lacraz comes on for Micklejohn. And once again, it's on that boundary line. On that boundary umpire, I hope they swap them over at half-time, because he is going to have one tight arm from the number of throw-ins he's been doing in this first half of football. Thanks to Energy Saver Products. Think for the future. This is football exclusive on Life FM. Low-scoring affair in the rain, mud and wind at Challenge Recruitment. Brett Backwell on the boundary line, tackled by Mark Clayton. A reminder, Jeremy Clayton not out there this afternoon, and a little bit of pushing and shoving afterwards. As this time Button and Batson go together. Button the Tigers, Batson the Magpies. We'll call that neutral. Comes to Summon. He's smothered off the back of a Tiger's head. And again, it's a loose ball. Dolling picks it up. He's smothered to ground, and this time rewarded for getting the ball. Illegal tackle. A chance to send the Magpies forward again. The rain coming down in sheets. Probably not too much left, although the time does stop for boundary throws. We've only had 2 goals, 2 scored this quarter. 1 goal, 1 apiece. Magpies now 70 out, sends it forward with a grubber kick. Butcher picks it up, depossessed with the ball. Umpire says play on. Now he's found a free kick, and it might go back to the aforementioned Butcher. Chance for the Magpies to go forward. Heads for the hot spot, about 20 out. Polled, and in fact, no Magpie flew for the ball. Gee, that's sad as it comes to Rudolph. He'll just kick it towards Moore. So we're going to get some play on the grandstand side. This is magnificent. Moore is bumped off the ball. Murphy soccers it forward, opposed to Gates. Gates sits on the ball. Murphy now picks it up, has to get over Gates. Will it sit for Logan? Logan picked it up. He's hit by Carr. Now Perkins going in. Backwell slides into it.
Oh, good footy.
Good, tough footy. Nothing pretty about that. That's Neil Curley, tough. SANFL League footy. You'd love that, John Simons.
So here we are for Energy Saver products. A look to the future. Ansvar is the answer. And the First Bounce licensed sports store, Elizabeth and West Lakes, bringing you our broadcast today. Port Adelaide take possession of the ball through Tommy Carr. Keeps it tight up against the grandstand boundary line. A couple of players sliding into the fence. Gates and Willoughby on that occasion, but both bounce up to their feet and are okay to get going again. So the boundary throw-in to take place in the deep stages of this second quarter. Glenelg have added 1 goal, 1 for the term. Port have done likewise, so they maintain their 3-point quarter time break at the moment. Boundary throw-in takes place, goes over the top of the 2 ruckman. Benny Moore soccers it forward for his side. It might favour Fisher, but Carr was more desperate on that occasion. Got to the ball first, 1 possession of it, was tackled. It's picked up now by Allen it is for Glenelg. He's well tackled, and we'll see a bounce down right on the corner of the centre square, right half forward for the Glenelg side. The attacking side of the ground, if they can just get an effective possession from here, they might do so through Boak. Willoughby takes it, feeds it back to Murphy by hand. He's going to reel around onto the left. No, he gets a handball now to release Kane into space. Kicks it to the top of the square. Prime opportunity here for Mitchell from behind. Gets the punch down. Benny Moore crumbed the ball smart at the front of the pack. Gave it off to Ty Allen. Gets a rush shot on goal and misses to the near side as the siren sounds. It would have been a handy one for the home team, but it's not to be. Ty Allen, a minor score. And the difference at half-time will be 2 points as Glenelg are 3-3-21, trailing the Magpies 3-5-23.
All up to Hammer Holmes Oval to take the all-conquering Central District side, and I think the Tigers last one up there in about 1992. So it's all up for grabs here for the Glenelg at the Challenge Recruitment Oval, their home ground. They'll trail this one by 2 points. So anyone's game as the wind continues to be strong, but we have no rain. The third quarter, your caller is John Simons.
Cranston versus Micklejohn. The way they started at the start of this game, they'll compete at the start of the second half as well. Cranston won it down. Mark Clayton took possession, hammered it towards Clayton, who drop-kicked the ball. Butcher has drop-kicked the ball from the middle of the ground. It comes out towards Backwell, strongly tackled by Slattery. Glenelg get possession though. Boak to Mules to Cranston. He's forced to kick quickly, well positioned to read the drop of the ball. Was summited on that occasion. Took possession, kicked inside 50, going back. Excuse me, with the flight of the ball and taking a good mark, a good clean mark. Was perhaps the player best on ground in the first half, Ben Kane. He goes towards the outer side of the ground. Is going to go over the back of the pack. Murphy competing there against Slattery. No player can take the effective possession of the ball, and a free kick will go to Murphy. He was tackled high on that occasion, so won the one-out duel against Butcher there and receives the free kick. Chips short towards Backwell. He's got a runner in support in Kane. He feeds off to that player who's allowed to get possession of that a bit too easily, I think, Kane, on that occasion. Kicks it inside 50. Smith went back with courage, back into the pack. He couldn't take the mark, though. The kick comes out now towards Rudolph. He couldn't take clean possession of the ball. Neither could Willoughby on that occasion. Jardura socketed the ball to actually help Willoughby in the end as he tries to gather his balance in the slippery, muddy conditions in the middle of the ground. Kicks it out wide, backward, full stretch dive to take the mark. He was unable to do so. Mark Clayton feeds it up towards Butcher. Butcher toe pokes one towards Biarchi, but he's unsuccessful in getting it to him cleanly as the ball trickles over the boundary line. Outer side of the centre wing here at Glenelg Oval, Challenge Recruitment Oval as it's now known. 90 seconds gone in the third quarter. No addition to the half-time score. Glenelg 3-3-21, Port Adelaide 3-5-23.
So from the ball up comes straight to ground will be another ball up here. It's pretty much centre wing, outer side. No change to the half-time scoring when Willoughby was going for the ball. Look, no one wanted to tackle him. It's just that the Magpie players couldn't get a decent footing to change direction. As it comes to backward, now he's got a bit of mud on him. It comes to Logan. Logan's got Allen on the run, comes back. Oh, that was one handball too far. Should have sent it forward. The tackles come. It's on the outer side. And again, out of bounds. So you mentioned Glenelg early over handballing. They had the one to set up the loose player. That should be just, you set up the loose player, you send it forward. That should be the rule of thumb and the tactic today. As the tap down comes to Moore, his kick is smothered. Miller had it, lost it. Glenelg player there tackled high, and I think that's Backwell again. He's starting to get, and actually it's Willoughby.
He's going
also in the long sleeve shirt comes towards the forward 50. Backwell with the doll kick. It lands in the lap of a Magpie who can't take the mark. Loose ball. Quick out by Dolling, and he's got a Magpie teammate on the half-back flank.
Troy Butcher is that player. He kicks towards the outer centre wing. The ball might go over the boundary line. It doesn't quite get there before Kane takes possession. Sidesteps around one and kicks it in towards Willoughby, who gives a dangerous kick in the middle of the ground towards Rudolph, but he's going to benefit from a free kick. Indiscretion paid against Luke Jardura on this occasion. So Rudolph will go to Kane, who's free on the outer centre wing. It's about his sixth possession in the already in this quarter. Kicks towards right half forward, but doesn't get the distance he was hoping for to get it to Fisher. And chipping in front of that player and taking the mark was Tommy Carr for the Port Magpies. He's got Jardura screaming for the ball on the outer centre wing. He's still screaming for it, waving his arms, but he's going to go a bit more direct than that and over the top of Jardura's head. A contest on left half forward for the Magpies. Playing front and square was Biarchi. Took possession of the ball, but he's kicked it to a couple of Tigers. One is Murphy. In support is Panozzo. Panozzo does the shepherding. Murphy takes possession, misses his target, which was Ty Allen on that occasion. He's in a contest now with De Pasquale. Didn't push him in the back, said the umpire. Perhaps the push was more in the side, and the ball trickles over the boundary line. Left half forward for the Glenelg side. So for Energy Saver products, look to the future. It is the Tigers 3-3-21. The Magpies are 3-5-23.
5 minutes into the premiership quarter, and the scoreboard has not changed as yet. Another free kick for over in the Tigers. The Tigers #1 in free kicks received and #1 in terms of free kicks given away, and that means they've given away the least amount of free kicks. So Miller substituting, coming off, and Gates on as Mitchell.
The annual umpires dinner at Glenelg must have...
could well be.
That doesn't
Wayne
happen.
Wiedemann found a loss of his wallet during the week. Mitchell now is a huge kick into the wind. This will see what the wind is like. He's having a shot. He'll be kicking from about 55. This will be very interesting. Kicks from 52. Got onto it, but as often with the Torp, just that little bit wayward. First score of the second half is a behind of the Tigers. They are 3-4-22. The Maggies 3-5-23.
Ball to be brought in now by Tommy Carr. He got a good purchase on that ball, Mitchell, into the breeze, but also the fact that we've had about a half an hour now without any rain would have helped his ability to get that extra bit of purchase on that occasion. Just didn't quite have the accuracy he was hoping for. So Carr brings the ball back in. Cranston from behind, double fist the ball back towards the Glenelg 50-metre arc, but it was taken for Port Adelaide now by Clayton. Thumps the ball towards the boundary line, and it will trickle over for a boundary throw. And of course, we only have to call Mark Clayton by his surname today because there's no mix-up. Jeremy Clayton, a late withdrawal for the Port Adelaide side, and not playing today, as was Paul Sherwood for the Glenelg Football Club. Boundary throw in now. Coming over the top was Cranston. Again, the double fister gains about 10 metres of real estate for his side, but it was picked up by the Port Adelaide skipper now in the aforementioned Clayton. He kicks it towards a left half forward, where Glenelg were able to punched the ball over the boundary line. Rory Kirkby was the player doing the defensive duties on that occasion. So it's a 1-point ball game in favour of the visiting team, the Magpies at the moment. Meikle-John grabbed the ball out from this ruck contest, gave it towards Butcher. He gained about 15 metres from his kick, but again it's hovering around the boundary line. Byron Murphy there to take possession for the Glenelg side. He was tackled high in his endeavour to break through that tackle, and he will receive the free kick on the outer half-back flank for his side. He looks inboard, but he'd be wise to avoid that option now and just kick it up the defensive boundary line, which he does so towards the outer centre wing. Meikle-John flies high and spoils the ball straight over the boundary line, which will probably suit Glenelg at this point in time, given that they will have this breeze to come home with. They'd be willing just to play the time out as much as possible in this third quarter, which they currently lead by 1 point, 6 minutes played.
So from the throw, when it comes to more, we'll get a clear kick forward. Goes inside 40, 2-on-1 Magpies, and that is a nice mark on the far side of the field there.
Perry.
Just around the pole we've got here in the enclosed room. So Perry with the mark, happy to take his time. He's got a runner there in Dolling, manages to keep it in board. Both teams have rolled the dice with that boundary line under side. We've seen plenty of out of bounds on the full this afternoon. It is a bit of a cross breeze as well as favouring the southern end. That kick is marked by Polton. So the Magpies slowly but surely going forward. They do have the breeze in this quarter, and neither side has really made any major use of it. And the margin just the one behind in a big game for both sides, coming off frustrating losses last week. It comes to the middle of the pack. Cranston got the handball out to teammate. Well done by Allen, who got it out to Doldig. Doldig some quick hands to Moore. Well back to Allen. So the quick handball's an occasion worth again sending it forward, but again 2-on-1. Magpies. McConnell tries to lay the tackle, can't do it. The kick forward by the Magpies hits three Tigers, bounces off someone's shoulder. It is a slippery cake of soap out there this afternoon. Clayton picks it up. He sends the Magpies forward. Waterhouse gets rid of his opponent. He's 40 out. He snaps. It's a high kick. There's a player there for the Magpies running onto it. Makes the mark.
Biarchi.
And Biarchi's going to have a shot for goal. Just settle it up. He will shoot about 10 metres around.
Oh, it's a tough.
He's being sent on the angle, but the wind will be right at his back.
It's a tough kick, but he's a clever player. He should negotiate it.
Yeah, it's done well. The reserves his kick, and he has missed it. Golden opportunity when goals are reserves, hence teeth this afternoon. So we're back to the half-time margin at 2 points. The Magpies 3-6-24. The Tigers 3-4-23.
For those at the ground, Joel Perry is now wearing Guernsey number 26. He normally wears 24, but he has replaced that wearing 26, playing at centre half-back still on Jeff Smith, who's being spoken to at the moment by Glenelg runner in Damien Raiders. As Luke Pinozzo brings the ball back in, outer side of the ground. Kirkby can't take the mark. It comes, spills down to Logan at the front of the pack. It goes through that player now and ends up with Gates for Port Adelaide. Wheels around onto his left boot and then kicks the ball up onto the scoreboard there at the outer side of Challenge Recruitment Oval. So out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Glenelg skipper in Mules. He brings it in board to Logan. He was tackled by Waterhouse, but not just before getting his kick away. It'll come to Willoughby first. Might go the soccer. He does, but it cannons into his vice-captain in Fisher, and he lays a strong tackle on Deep Pasquale. Dumps him in the middle of Glenelg Oval, which is full of puddles and mud, and they both get up to their feet and have a bit of a wry smile on their face and think back to their days when they were 7 years old and used to do that in the backyard, Phil Herden.
The thump from Cranston goes as far as Carr. He gets it to Mark Clayton with the kick. It'll land in the lap of Boak. Boak right in the middle of the field where they pull it up. He dodges past a couple. Tackle. That should be holding the ball. Surely. Umpire instead has found a free.
Yeah, he was tackled high in the first tackle. We paid the advantage and then realised there wasn't any. So
right, fair enough then, because certainly was retarded and had a chance to get rid of it. But tackle illegal, so that's live as it comes to Kirkby. He gets it on, I think, to Kane. Kane just puts it on the boot, sends it long, looking for Doldig. And again, the Magpies have got the numbers back in defence. As Batson gets it, he hand passes it on. Turnover time more. Can he send it forward? Again, lots of numbers around the ball. It's not going to break free. And right in front of the cricket pitches, that I'll tell you what, they were waterlogged at 11. When I came down this morning, I got no idea what it's going to be a lake in that pocket this afternoon. Luckily, they're not playing cricket here for a while.
It's like a West Indies cricket ground then.
That's it.
The
In fact, we found a blood rule here, so looks like Cranston might be coming off for the Tigers.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see who's going to replace him. In actual fact, Jeff Smith it is now. Big Lachlan Button will come on and get some more valuable game time. Oh, no, he's then gone through the interchange bench, the interchange lines. He's come back. It might be deemed okay now. This is a bit of an experience there from the youngster, or perhaps just some excitement. Jesse Smith to get out there and get involved in the contest.
Yeah, he was just a bit eager to get out there, and it almost cost his spot for the rest of the game.
Probably lucky it was a blood rule, not a normal interchange.
Yeah, that's a... having said that, though, we all noticed it because it was a blood rule as well. So probably also worked against him. But he's made his way across to the contest now, and he'll compete in this ruck contest. He wins the tap down. Can a Glenelg player swoop on the ball? No, they can't. Ruwalt was trying to, as was Logan, but nothing doing. Umpire will come in, bounce it down 15 metres out from the Glenelg goal.
And Smith down to the change rooms. Looks like he's copped one on the scone.
But Mark Cesana there, the club doctor for Glenelg, will attend to that one and stitch it up in record time, no doubt, as we wait now. Button picks up possession of the ball, goes by hand towards Boak. Boak gives it over towards Ruwalt. He's spun around to tackle, but he releases the ball by hand before a free kick is paid against him. Kirkby dives in, a couple of Port Adelaide players come in, and the umpire will be forced to bounce it down 45 metres out from the Glenelg goal. They are presently 3-4-22. Port Adelaide are 3-6-24. Button wins it down. Ruwalt runs onto the ball, but he is strongly tackled. Might be another opportunity here for Glenelg as Button slides in. Logan's there as well. They've managed to get it 10 metres closer to goal, and we'll see it bounce down again, 35 out from the Tiger goal.
Yeah, this is where discipline's important. A couple more ball ups, and the umpire will start looking for a free kick. That was Batson who came in and tapped it down. In fact, sorry, that was Perry in the 26. It's about 45 metres out from the Tigers, and there's just bodies everywhere, and if the aforementioned free kick has now been found, it will favour the Magpies, and it will be Biachi, who's been busy around the goal. He did have a shot to put the Magpies further in front from about 10 metres out, sharp angle and missed. He goes a short kick to De Pasquale, who marks about 60 out from the Tigers goal, right on that far side out of field. It's a day for binoculars if you're in the grandstand this afternoon, right in front of the family-friendly area. Sparsely populated. Hope you're fairly warm out that part of the world. He kicks towards the pack right on the boundary line, and a good mark. Corey Archie takes that one. So not often you see the contested mark. He just kicks on the players, follow the ball. It is like the mini-league game at the moment. This time it comes to Cranston. So Cranston will send the Tigers back. Comes in board a little bit. Button sets himself. He's got the sit. Comes down. Jajora just soccers it through the mud puddle, goes about 2 metres. Logan actually gets on his hands, his knees to get it. Another Tiger player, and Allen, I think, tries to get it. It's just, it is football at its rawest.
He had to get the flippers and the goggles then, Tommy Logan, to get lowered out, low enough down in that puddle to find the footy.
I mean, we've had balls bouncing, and there's whoever that player, I think it's Logan, he's just, can't tell what team he's on because he's covered in mud head to toe. As Batson gets the tap down. I think that was Dolling who tries and sends it forward. Players just diving in and out. It's gone about 10 metres. I like war in the trenches here at the moment. And it's, yeah, they're just sending it forward. Umpire letting it go, which is probably a good thing. I'd rather see the players sort it out than the umpires. So 2 points the difference. The Magpies are 3-6. The Tigers are 3-4. Let's see if you can get out of here, John.
OK, Cranston coming from behind, wins it down. It might accommodate Logan. No, he couldn't get a handle on the ball in the end. Coming in and lending support is Kirkby as well at ground level. The Tigers gain 10 metres of space, but get it close to their goals, but can't get possession of the ball. So Archie looming up as the loose player in this contest. If they can feed the ball out to him, they can't, because Cranston took possession, gave it to Moore. He was slung high in the tackle, and he will win the resultant free kick, dead set in the middle of Challenge Recruitment Oval down here at Glenelg. And Benny Moore kicks it out wide. Long lead coming from McConnell. Going with the flight of the ball was Kane. It was a courageous marking attempt, but in the end he probably would have been better served to let McConnell run onto it. But in the end, Port Adelaide were able to win possession of the ball through Polton, but he kicks it out of bounds on the full outer side of the ground. So no, the free kick will actually come back before that kick took place, and Port Adelaide will receive it left half back.
You'd say this is again favouring the Tigers. Magpies only up by 2 points. Tigers coming home with the breeze. But even though the breeze is strong, it's been ineffectual on the scoreboard. No team with it has been able to make much of it. And the margin has stayed within a couple of goals each time. Biggest margin, 9 points in the match. Magpies in the second quarter. So again, some handballs by the Tigers. Comes to Logan, who just can't get down and get it. That was pretty poor because he would have had the shepherd. He had the time. He just soccers it forward. That causes the turnover. Going back hard on that was, might be Jajora. Biachi now with the ball. He's tackled. Umpire says no opportunity. He did try to get rid of it. And Jajora and Jenna, the two there in the dark matted hair and long sleeves, hard to pick up. But where it went for it early. Comes to Gates from the ball up. He just puts it on the boot. Rudolph comes to intercept. Backwell now picks it up. He goes to ground. Comes out to, that might be Kane, and that would be Willoughby. And it's 51 metres out. The Magpies, it has been down Glenelg's part of the field. Most of this quarter, they have added one behind. The Magpies, with I think 2 forward 50 sorties, have also added one behind, and we're about 16 minutes into the quarter. Again from the tap, it's just a massive players with the ball. And we were hoping that without the rain it would open up a bit, Jesse, but it's closed down even more.
Yeah, like I said before, the players have already got the mindset that it's a wet game, so it's going to stay like that, I think.
For Energy Saver products, look to the future. Glenelg trail Port Adelaide by 2 points. Tommy Carr takes possession of the ball. Kicks it to left half forward. Kirkby leading the chase of the ball. It goes over his head. It comes to Butcher. Tried to get a handball to accommodate Waterhouse, but he missed the target on that occasion. Clive ran back, got possession of it. Well tackled by Boak, and we'll see a bounce down 50 metres out from the Glenelg goal as Jeff Smith re-emerges now from the change rooms and comes back on to replace Button. And similarly for Port Adelaide, Gates off and Jenner on. Port win possession of the ball. A rush kick forward. Mules leading Clayton to the ball on that occasion. Took possession of the ball, fed it off to Kirkby. Kirkby went for distance to the outer side of the ground. That kick suggests that perhaps that win has either died down a little bit or it's just going a bit more vertically across the ground rather than horizontally up and down it as Jarjura took possession of the ball. Dangerous kick. Ruwalt did well, stood tall in the contest, won possession of the ball, looked up, he had no player ahead of him to kick it to, but now he spotted Fisher. Chance here for Glenelg. He's got Smith in support. Instead he's going to get a chip, a shot for goal. Bouncing, 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 goal for the Tigers! Adam Fisher gives his side the lead for the first time since the early minutes in the game when Justin McConnell kicked the opening goal. It was a clever kick from the vice-captain, and Glenelg move on to 4 goals, 4-28. Port Adelaide 3-6-24. 4-point lead to the Tigers. Jesse Smith.
Good play by Mark Ruwalt there. He just stayed composed and hit the target up forward instead of blazing away, and fell into the arms and had a snap, and luck went their way, which was good.
Yeah, I fully agree with that, Jesse. I guess the easy option in the mud puddle would have been just to sock it off the ground, but he obviously had communicated he had a bit of time and some shepherding. Went down, did the hard stuff, picked the ball up, delivery was good. And, 7th goal of the game puts the Tigers in front. They're coming home with the breeze. It's all set up for them at the moment. Off hands. And again, Dolling.
Well done, Ben Moore.
And Ben Moore picks it up. Some great work by the Tigers in that mud at the moment. Off hands to Polton. Umpires found a free kick will favour the Magpies out of defence. So here comes the kick. That was Polton. It was awarded. Goes towards the target. Fisher there's on Butcher. Butcher picks it up. He's tackled beautifully. Now that's holding the ball because he picked it up and ran away. Umpire concurs. To Moore, to Cranston, back to Moore, who ducks and weaves. Finally kicks it around his body towards that boundary line. It's Polton versus Mitchell. And once again, the winner is the boundary line as we head into 19 minutes gone here of the third quarter. We've had our first goal. It took 17 minutes, and it was for the Tigers going into the breeze. And surprisingly, the team going into the breeze has kicked the first goal of each quarter this afternoon. What breeze, you might say, as it's about 50 metres out from the Tigers' goal. Body's just going in and able to get a kick. I think that's Jenner who picks it up now. He just taps it forward pretty much. Comes to Panozzo. But in the meantime, a free kick will go to, might be Perry, who's getting a bit of the ball in this third quarter. The new jumper obviously doing the trick. He kicks it over the mud puddle. Players have got to run onto it. Magpies just soccering it forward into forward 50. This time Rudolph, who's played it pretty well in defence. He's done well. Comes to Kane, who John Simons reckons might be his best on ground. He's found Moore, who's also been busy. So a bit of clean possession now and a clear bit of the field, but once again on the outer side. And John, let's see what the Tigers can do with the opportunity.
The former skipper is going to kick to the outer side of the ground, presenting himself strongly as Smith. Can't take the mark, but it was well sharked by Ty Allen on that occasion. Fed the handball out towards Kane, head over the ball, met by Dolling, and Dolling did enough to get it over the boundary line. So as we approach time on, our broadcast being brought to you today by Energy Saver products. Look to the future. Ansvar is the answer. And First Bounce licensed sports stores at Elizabeth and West Lakes. Glenelg 4-4-28, Port 3-6-24. It was Allen took possession, got it onto the left boot towards half forward. Di Pasquale kept his head over the ball. Smith laid a disciplined tackle and an effective one as well. Didn't give away the free kick. which happens often these days when players have got their head over the ball. He waited for Di Pasquale to sort of stand a bit more upright, laid the tackle and bounced down half forward. Phil.
Been a very disciplined third quarter from both teams, actually.
Yeah, obviously something that must have been stressed by both coaches during the half-time break. The discipline was going to be the key going forward, and thus far both teams staying on the right side of that discipline line. Bounce down, centre half forward for the Glenelg side. It's Batson that wins it down. Benny Moore got it onto his boot very quickly and creatively, but Joel Perry was well positioned and took the mark. Is that a better third term? Has Perry, perhaps the change of Guernsey has helped him. He kicks towards Slattery, nudged Panozzo under the ball, took the mark cleanly, played onto his left boot, and then kicked the ball towards Rory Kirkby of Glenelg and the boundary line. And both of those players get involved as the ball is carried across the line by Kirkby, 55 metres around from the Magpie goal there. 3-6-24, Glenelg 4-4-28. As we wait for that boundary throw in, we'll check in with a score with KJ in the studio in a moment or two. We'll just see if the Magpies can snare a goal from this forward foray. There's a free kick pay, but it won't go to Port Adelaide. It'll go to Glenelg, and the recipient will be Tommy Logan. KJ, score back in the studio.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys. It's still half-time at Prospect Oval North and South. Sturton Norwood, their score there at the moment, Norwood 2 goals 5-17. Sorry, Sturton 2 goals 5-17. Norwood are out in front, 4 goals 9-33. Back to you in over the oval.
Thank you very much, KJ. As from here, well, Magpies at a forward sortie. It comes now to Tajori. He kicks it inside forward 50. On the lead there is Summit, and can he pick it up? It's by the boundary line, right by the behind post. Tries to soccer it back in play. Unsuccessful, so it's a ball up. It's down the southern end of the ground, not far away from the scoreboard. That shows the Magpies with the wind are trailing 3-6-24, Glenelg 4-4-28. A game of attrition. Day for the diehards here at Challenge Recruitment this afternoon. From the tap down, it comes to Panozzo. He'll get the kick away end over end, and guess where he's heading, boys? If you're going to give best players, how about the far side boundary line?
Yeah, it's dominated today. Has absolutely dominated.
Consistent
umpire, he's been good.
Consistent four-quarter effort from that boundary line has been in the thick of the action this afternoon. So I think they have swapped the boundary umpires from the looks of it just as well. The other one's off getting some attention to RSI on the arm. As the kick comes forward from the Magpies, again, it's a shallow kick. There are players everywhere, just hard to get that loose possession. And it will be a ball up. It is 65 out. We're into time on. 22 minutes gone of the third quarter. Just 1 goal scored. That to the Tigers in the breeze. That umpire looks absolutely drenched this afternoon. He's got about 40 mates around the ground this afternoon. This time Clayton tries and sends it forward. Coming in was Lees. He couldn't pick it up. Umpires found a free.
Waterhouse taken high.
And in fact, looks like Lees will take it, and he will have he'll have the ball. This will test the distance of young Daniel Lees from St Michael's. He's back today from a hamstring injury. And do you think he'll have a shot, John?
No, I reckon he's too far out.
You wouldn't want to test the hammies that much, but of course in the meantime the ball had gone forward, which they're just retrieving as we speak. A chance for an interchange, and again it's been craziness on the interchange bench this afternoon. 2 Tiger players not looking as Doherty came off. In the end, Ruwalt decides, it must be my turn. As the kick from Lees heads towards the top of the goal square, Waterhouse flies. Comes off the back of the pack, out of bounds, right next to the behind post.
Boundary throw in. So the Tigers have a 4-point lead. We've had 3 lead changes in the game thus far today, and they'd be pretty satisfied to be able to take, if they could take this lead into the 3-quarter time break. Boundary throw in. Magpies deep forward would be threatening to score here if they can just get a clean possession. They can't at the moment. There's about 17 players on top of that ball on this occasion. Perhaps a slight exaggeration on my behalf there. Make that about 4 or 5. And Corey Archie is the emerging player in the end with the ball. Hands it back to the umpire. He throws it straight up. Cranston taps the ball out twice on that occasion. I think he only gets 1 hit out on the stats sheet for that, though. Glenelg take possession of the ball through. Benny Moore feeds off to Panozzo. They'll get themselves out of the danger zone now as Panozzo runs onto the left boot, kicks it long, looking for Smith, who did well to come up and present an option and give a contest. Aided by Lally, they get the ball over the boundary line. It was 2 Glenelg players to 4 Port in that contest, so that was a good result for the Glenelg side as Tommy Logan comes off for a spell to be replaced by his power-listed teammate in Travis Boak, who has been fairly impressive in his senior debut here for Glenelg today. Cranston beaten by Jardura on that occasion, 3rd man up came over the top and won the tap out. Murphy was clever to draw Panozzo into the play. He did likewise and fed the ball out to Rudolph. The Tigers are running in waves through the outer side of the ground. Kicks it long inside 50. Ruwalt's going to come from behind. He does well to position the ball and get the ball at ground level to run onto it. He's against two Magpies, and Lacroix does enough to get the ball over the boundary line. Ruwalt would be satisfied with that result as well. Boundary throwing 10 metres around from the Glenelg goal as Kyle Jenner limps off to be replaced now by Harry Miller in a little bit of discomfort. Miller, now Glenelg, can they score? 10 metres out, it go over the back of the pack, it comes towards, it might be Boak, a shot on goal, it's a good one, it's a very effective one. Travis Boak kicks his second goal and becomes the first multiple goal kicker in this game. So for Energy Saver Products, look to the future. Glenelg are doing just that, 5-4-34. They've opened up a game-high lead over Port Adelaide, who are 3-6-24. Special comments from West Adelaide midfielder Jesse Smith.
It's a smart goal there by Boak. He's had a good game. He's would add up close to 20 touches so far, and just a smart goal there to nothing then. They really needed that.
But the little things as well, Phil. Port Adelaide had no player at the back of the pack. Wet day in defensive territory. Needed to have someone there.
And no player on the goal line as it rolled through at ankle height as the ball up. Goes straight to ground, players dive on, it'll be another ball up. So 10 points is the margin. Believe it or not, that is the biggest margin of the match so far. Doesn't sound like much, but in a day with just 8 goals kick, trying to find 2 is difficult. As Backwell just puts it up in the air. If Smith tries to pick it up, he's fine as being a target. Glenelg starting to run with the handball, and this one is a little bit sloppy as comes to Kirkby, the Bogue. And a little bit of a push and shove after the siren. And good to see the old rivalry between the Tigers and the Magpies hasn't died over time as the umpires come in to break it up. It is 3/4 time here at the Challenge Recruitment Oval.
See what happens after that.
Okay, start of the final quarter. The Tigers by 10 points, kicking with the aid of the breeze here today. It stayed dry for the past 3/4 of an hour, which will help the players somewhat as Stephen Summerton gets the first effective possession of this quarter. Kicks it towards half forward, but Murphy was there playing off his centre wing on this occasion, took possession of the ball, kicked it towards Ruwald, who's in a competition there with Polton. Murphy came in and helped give a contest as well, gave some extra numbers. Perkins took possession of the ball, kicked it to Ruwald, who was sitting 2 metres in front of him. It lobbed on his chest, the ball's going nowhere. There's about 7 players in about 2.5 metres of space on that grandstand centre wing by the boundary line. Eventually the ball trickles over, but it's a good contest, a willing contest from all the participants down here at Challenge Recruitment Oval Glenelg today as Cranston won the tap down. It's taken by Biarchi. He's well tackled by Kane. Ball spills out towards Boak. He picks it up, throws it on the boot, goes towards Polton. Umpire said it's play on. He took possession of the ball. It didn't go 15. A good tackle by Allen. Polton didn't dispose of the ball cleanly. He's arguing. You want to be careful. He doesn't want to give away a 25 through frustration. 25-metre penalty. He doesn't do so, and the free kick will come back to Ty Allen. He laid a very effective tackle. Didn't allow Polton to dispose of the ball effectively on this occasion. So Ty Allen sends the Tigers inside 50. It goes to the right forward pocket, the Snouts Louts pocket, and it's marked uncontested on this occasion by big Daniel Batson.
So Batson, who's been busy in the second half as the marking defender, he will switch sides, go across the ground looking for Butcher opposed to Fisher. So the ball over the head of both of those players races towards that BOG, the outer boundary line, and it'll be another throw. And so 10 points the margin. You think if the Tigers get the next goal, that's 3 in a row, and that would just about be all she wrote. So pressure on the Magpies to do something here going into the breeze in the final quarter. Cranston got the tap down. This time Kane has been busy scurrying in there. You mentioned before that he was number 2 on the possession list, and I'll tell you what, to get 20 clear possessions in 3/4 of football on daylight today is no mean feat, because every possession has been very well earned. As Batson and Cranston kicked off the ground by the Magpies, only in favour of Glenelg, it comes to Kane. He's tackled as soon as he laid finger on the ball, and tackled fairly. Ball spills, it's another throw in. So we're 50 metres away from the Tigers' goal, right in front of the time clock. It's 3 minutes gone the final quarter. 10 points the margin here in a game both sides desperate to win, coming off losses last week. Again from the tap down, bottom of the pack, and it will be another ball up. So, mentioned before, both teams have been disciplined in this third quarter. No easy frees given. It's within scoring range of the Tigers. Wouldn't want to give one away here, the Magpies. It comes down to Summerton. The quick kick heading for that boundary line as Miller comes in, and he'll just tap it over. And then get another throw in. Half forward flank for the Tigers. They have the 10-point lead.
Boundary throw-in taking place. We said before 8 goals would win this today. It'd win it comfortably, I'd suggest, at the moment, with the scoreboard showing 5-3 in favour of the Tigers. But Port Adelaide go forward on this occasion. Mules leads in the charge to the ball. Stood it hard in the tackle, gave it off to Rudolph. He's got a player free on grandstand centre wing. One of them's Murphy, another is Backwell. Backwell Shepherds to allow Murphy to pick up possession of the ball. Deep Pasquale did well to come in and give a tackle. Gave it off to Boak, to Backwell. The mouse steps inside 50. He's going to chip short, looking for Logan. Bounces at his ankles, took possession of it, gave it off to Smith. Smith throws it on the left boot, goes to the top of the square. Fisher going back with a fly to the ball, but can't take the mark before the ball bounces over the boundary line. Boundary throw in 25 metres around from the Tiger goal. The Phil Hurden chuckle in the background was, I think, because Travis Boak was half-dacked in that tackle.
No,
but
Murphy wasn't. Great work by Depasquale to get away from Backwell Shepherd to lay that tackle. Otherwise, the Tigers were away.
And they're away on this occasion. A shot towards goal coming from Logan, but he ran out of space and couldn't hook it back enough, and it went out of bounds on the fall. The kick in from, let's have a look at this. I think it's Perry on this occasion. Absolutely shanked it, just lost the drop on the ball, and he almost kicked it through for a point to Glenelg. He went straight across the face of goal and bounced out of bounds right next to the behind post. An extraordinary miscue on that occasion.
That's why teams haven't gone across goal this afternoon.
So can the Tigers take advantage of that error? They can't. Perry, desperate to make up for it, took possession of the ball, and this time thumped it as hard as he could and long as he could out of defence. Rudolph led the chase to the ball, took possession of the ball, then was tackled without possession of it after it spilled out. The free against Meiklejohn goes to Rudolph, who's been a very sound defender today for the Glenelg side. A lead comes from Fisher. He kicks it in that direction. Can he get there? No. Beating him to the contest on that occasion was Lacroix. He read the drop of the ball very well and got in front of Fisher and won the resultant free kick. Feeds it off to Carr. Carr comes grandstand centre wing. There's a nest of Tigers there. Jardura, the only Magpie. Murphy does really well. Stood up in the bump. Strong contest between those two players. And then Murphy grabbed hold of Jardura when he didn't have possession of the ball. Jardura plays on immediately, trying to spark something for the Magpie side. Takes 2 bounces, would you believe, on a day like today, and then turns the ball over. Kicks it straight towards the Glenelg player in Ruwalt, and he will take possession for the Tigers, just defensive side of centre.
Well, finds Rudolph, who's been busy this afternoon. Can't believe that Jajura's got the only 2 bounces of the afternoon in the stats, I can tell you right now. And he was about to run into a muddy bit, so I was waiting for him to bounce it a third time. We just watched the ball sit there in the mud. He didn't do it. It is Tigers' ball, defensive 50. Comes down grandstand side. This is a nice change as it comes to Perkins. Perkins to Batson, back to Perkins. The new recruit's working hard. Go to the middle of the mud. Sliding through the mud was Kane. Jajura picks it up. Will it sit for Gates? Yes, it does. He's at the edge of the centre square. He kicks to a vacant goal square. How will it bounce? It'll bounce towards the boundary line. Kirkby had it covered anyway, and it will be a throw-in. But what do you give the points for the dive there, judges?
7.8. KJ, score back in the studio.
Yeah, got a three-quarter time score for the Sturton Norwood game. The Double Blues taking a bit of a downer in that third quarter. It was actually a very long quarter there, 3-5-23. Norwood are very well in front, 7-11-53. That's that three-quarter time between Sturt and Norwood. Back to you, Phil, on the team.
So a 30-point lead to the visiting Redlegs there at Unley Oval. Will have a bounce down 15 metres directly in front of goal. We're here at Glenelg Oval today with thanks to station sponsor Energy Saver Products. Look to the future as Cranston thumps the ball out towards the boundary line. It's picked up by Summit and he can't take an effective possession. Ben Kane can, and in his efforts to get the ball out of the danger zone, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full 80 metres around from the Port Adelaide goal. And the news just during that score update was that Tom Logan limping off, looked like maybe an ankle injury, but limped straight off in a bit of discomfort. The kick in from Clayton on that occasion has kicked it. I don't know if it even came into the field of play at all and straight back out of bounds.
That's going to be tricky to get, actually, because that's lobbed into the cricket pitches, which is an absolute quagmire down there, the practice pitches.
Luke Pinozzo's a strong swimmer, so he shouldn't have a problem, I think, getting to that ball in the end.
If it wasn't waterlogged before, it is now.
Yeah, and that's only going to help Glenelg more so, really, because the Port to kick 2 goals to win in the last 20 minutes of the game, given you've only kicked 3 in the previous 80 minutes, is a big ask, Jesse Smith.
Yeah, for sure. You can't see it happening at this stage, but funny things have happened.
So Glenelg looking to take possession of the ball. Fisher's there. He can't get a clean possession. Umpire will come in and bounce it down. So we've been going. Let's have a look. 7.5 minutes for Energy Saver Products. Look to the future in this last quarter. Glenelg a 5-4-34. Port a 3-6-24. 10-point margin. And another bounce down will take place. Stacks on the mill, outer side of the ground. Won't bother the Glenelg players or supporters or coaching staff for that matter at this point in time just to chew up the seconds. It's Willoughby taking possession of the ball now, strongly tackled. Port Adelaide trying to surge this ball forward. They're doing it in numbers at the moment, and Clive pounces on a loose ball. He's going to get a shot on goal. Waterhouse missed, narrowly missed. An all-important goal that would have been for the Magpies, not to be. Clive Waterhouse gets his first score of the game today, and Port Adelaide move on to 3 goals, 7-25. Glenelg 5-4-34. That's a 9-point lead in favour of the home side. Fisher marks the ball on the kick-in, kicks it short towards Smith, who's worked hard up from half forward to take this mark across half-back. He's going to look short. It's a tough assignment to try and spot up Boak on that kick. It got to him, but it bounced off his chest. Good pressure from Mark Clayton on that occasion, and Perry coming in to lend support. And the result will be a bounce down across left half forward for the Port Adelaide side.
Could the Magpies rue an accurate kicking second week in a row at the moment that they've had more scoring shots per trailing? By no means over yet as Kane picks it up. Summerton lays the tackle. Now managed to get the kick off to Fisher. Fisher brings it back inboard towards Murphy. Carr's got his measure. Murphy goes back and gets it. Tackled hard. And it will be a ball up. Centre wing. Grandstand side. Just to check of the time clock. It's showing about 10 minutes gone of the final quarter. Since half-time, the Maggies have added just 2 behinds. And it is the Tigers by 9 points. From the tap-in. Looks like Boat to Backwell, who ducks the head. Biaggi lays the tackle. Magpies want holding the ball. Glenelg fans want too high, and the umpire obliges neither set of supporters. And it will be a ball up. Half-forward flank. Clayton with the tackle, coming up with the ball. Game 200 to the Magpie captain. The tap to Allen. Clayton, did he go high on that occasion? Again, the player's ducking the head, looking for the free kick. Comes to Cranston. His kick away, only as far as, I think that's Allen, who's picked up his own kick. It's come to Polton. Polton with more is slammed over the sideline. It's a throw-in right in front of the IPH commentary crew. Jesse Smith, Phil Hurton and John Simons.
For Energy Saver Products, a look to the future. Glenelg lead by 9 points in this final quarter. Exciting finish down here at Challenge Recruitment Oval. Di Pasquale took possession of the ball, but Murphy marked the ball cleanly. His kick was then smothered by Clayton. Might open up an opportunity here for the Magpies as Murphy gets into the back there of Biaggi, who's at the bottom of the pack, and he'll take the free kick 90 metres out from the Magpie goal. Doesn't get up with a lot of urgency and really needs to get things on in a bit of a hurry for his side. He does so now. Kicks it inside 50. Waterhouse and Rudolph. Oh, well done, Sam Rudolph. Just stood tall in that one-on-one contest against Waterhouse and took a composed mark. Fed the ball out laterally to Panozzo. Panozzo's got a runner in support there in Lally, utilises him, gives it back now to Ruwalt. Ruwalt kicks under pressure and will go out of bounds on the full, again over towards those tennis courts on the outer side of the ground here. So the free kick will go now to Lees for Port Adelaide. He kicks towards the lead of Waterhouse. He can't take the mark. He brings it to the front of the pack, though. Strong tackle there from Lally on Slattery was deemed illegal by the umpire. Free kick goes to Slattery. The advantage paid to Waterhouse, and Clive kicks it into the swimming pool. Over the fence and into the swimming pool in the practice wicket area here at Glenelg Oval. That's the northeastern pocket there, where there's not too many people there today, but a few puddles of water. So the free kick, the relieving free kick, will go to Josh Willoughby. He's going to chip in short and finds the long lead of Ben Kane, still tucked inside defensive 50. He's going to switch the play now towards Panozzo. Panozzo being chased by Harry Miller. He's going to look for Rudolph to make some space for him. He does so, and not a bad kick, but Rudolph couldn't quite get a handle on it in the end, and sliding over the boundary line. We'll see a boundary throw in 75 metres around from the Port Adelaide goal. The scoreboard for Energy Saver Products. A look to the future. Port Adelaide 3-7-25. Glenelg 5-4-34.
From the tap down comes to Fisher. He tries to break the pack. He's tackled. Is that not holding the ball? Umpire says no. Instead it's over the shoulder, and that's a free kick. Mickelson on the infringer. So
that one was paid after the initial decision, Phil, had already been made to bounce it down. So just a little bit of emerging ill discipline.
Yeah, well, you get the feeling that This game is on the knife edge at the moment. One more goal to the Tigers, it's all over. Next goal to the Magpies, well, there's one kick in it. The kick comes to Polton. Smith takes it off hands. Polton wraps him up, comes to Allen. Allen tries to bust through Perkins. Perkins just hangs on. And again, Moore and Polton want to go on with it off the ball. And we talk about the discipline. Moore's giving away a free kick and Polton will have it. Centre wing. Interchange, Dolling on. Harry Miller coming off. As Polton has about no one behind him at the moment. We've got the modern day flooding now as the kick comes to Perkins. 17 Tiger defenders in front of him as he kicks it inside forward 50. Comes off hands. Trying to sock it off the ground. Picked up by Slattery. Goes to Summon and got a bit of space. He shoots. He misses. From about 25 out. The 8th behind for the Maggies. They are 3-8-26. Glenelg 5-4-34. Look, it's tough day, it's pressure, but the Maggies kicking themselves out the contest.
Jesse Smith.
You can just sense Glenelg midfield is tiring a bit, and you can see Port getting a run on. All they need is one goal, and I think it could be dangerous for Glenelg.
Yeah, Phil Hurton makes a good point. Next goal, all important. Glenelg get it, game over. Port Adelaide get it, game on. And as the Tigers, for Energy Saver Products, look to the future, lead it by 8 points, middle stages of the final quarter. Willoughby to Mules. Mules going to go up the line looking for Benny Moore, but his kick is errant and goes out of bounds on the full. So the free kick will go to Port Adelaide's Joel Perry. No, it'll come a bit further up to Tex Perkins. Well, Justin Perkins is his name, but from now on Life FM, he may be known as Tex. As the ball comes into Jared Polton. Polton kicks it short, looking for Meikle-John. The umpire has paid it to Meikle-John. Gives it off to Waterhouse. Clive, a shot on goal. It is true, is it? Yes, it is. Clive all of a sudden is bursting into this game in the final quarter after being very well held by Sam Rudolph. He got the handball from a quick-thinking Meikle-John, and Clive Waterhouse gets his opening goal. He kicked 1-1, and we've got a game on now for Energy Saver Products. Look to the future. Port Adelaide move on to 4 goals, 8-32. Glenelg 5-4-34, 2-point lead to the home team, the Tigers, and Jesse Smith. You called it just before. Perhaps the Glenelg side just running out of a bit of puff.
You could sense it just for the past 8 or 9 minutes. Port have been on top, and it was going to happen. They had a few scoring shots, and they just capitalised on that one. It could be dangerous here for Glenelg.
So as John Simon said, it's game on at Glenelg, the Challenge Recruitment Oval.
And here's the rain, Phil. It's back.
It's back. 2 points the difference. This game might well be one on the behinds yet. As from the ball up in the centre comes to ground, Pack descends, that's all she wrote. And that hill behind the goals, the Magpie cheer squad have come in numbers again. They were jumping up and down in delirium with that goal. Puts them in the game as it comes to Backwell. Backwell will send the Tigers forward. You're right, the rain is starting to come here. That was Batson who played in front, comes to Smith. Smith now picks it up. He's centre wing out of side. He's got a teammate there. I think that's Willoughby. Willoughby with the kick in board. Bo, can he pick it up? No, slips through his hands. About 70 out from the Tiger goals. It's a slippery bar of soap at the moment. De Pasquale tries to pick it up. He tries to take it forward. Glenelg now pick it up. Just a short kick forward, inside forward 50. How will it sit? Glenelg trying to paddle it forward here. The loose player comes out to McConnell. Polton on his hammer. Umpire says in the back. It will be a Glenelg shot for goal about 45 metres out to have the kick.
And Phil, the player, Justin McConnell, who had 2 chances in the last quarter to win the game for Glenelg against West Adelaide last week with set shots from similar range. So let's see if he's been working on this during the week.
Well, 1 goal 4 last week in a game decided by just a few points in the loss to Westies. We mentioned before how critical this game is to the Tigers season with the grand finalists coming up. You'd think he'd aim for the right post and let the wind take it left. Almost the wind at his back. We'll come in and we'll kick from 45. It's a low kick. It's as straight as a die. The Tigers have got their 6th goal and it might be the winner. Glenelg 6-4-40. The Magpies 4-8-32. And Jesse, that is the definition of a pressure kick.
Yeah, he was very careful in his approach, but he slotted it. And another free kick and goal to Glenelg. So Port Adelaide will this week certainly address a few issues that they have to in front of goal with giving away a few silly free kicks.
A lot of emotion shown by the Glenelg players on that kick from McConnell as well. This means a lot to the Tiger playing group quite clearly, and they're showing that in their performance today. For Energy Saver Products, look to the future. They now lead it by 8 points. We've been going 17 minutes in the final quarter with the Glenelg side. When the clearance comes to Moore, all of a sudden they're full of run. Benny Moore takes possession of the ball, kicks it to the top of the square. It doesn't favour Mitchell, it favours Lacroix for Port Adelaide. He takes possession of the ball. He gets tackled well by Mitchell as he tried to kick the ball away, and the pressure, the forward line pressure on that occasion was enough to create the turnover for the Glenelg side, and Adam Fisher will get the free kick for out of bounds on the full 60 metres out from the Glenelg goal. So he's a certainty, you would suggest, to send the Tigers inside 50. No, he doesn't. He makes a liar of him as he kicks short towards Cranston, still outside of 50. He taps it back to Fisher. Fisher chips in short, and now Backwell in a more central position, but still 60 metres out from goal, will send the Tigers within goal scoring range, you would suspect. Having said that, he might give off a short one now and make a liar of it. He's going to kick short to the lead of Mitchell. It was a good option, but the kick missed its mark. It bounced short, and it's taken by Lacroix. His kick was well smothered by Boak on that occasion. Backwell runs in and gets involved in the ball at ground level as well, sitting over the ball. They can't get it out on that occasion, so the umpire will bounce it down. It is 55 metres out from the Tigers' goal. We've been going 18.5 minutes in the final quarter. The Glenelg lead it by 8 points. It's thumped out to the outer side of the ground. Mark Clayton takes possession, stands tall in the tackle, tries to get it out to deeper Squally, but Ty Allen came in well with a rugged approach on the ball, took possession of it, gave it over to Boak, and he was tackled high, Travis Boak, and he'll win possession of the ball out of centre wing for the Glenelg side. In fact, Ben Kane is that player.
Yeah, that is the free of the day, the high tackles. And that's where the discipline comes in, because there's been a lot of them, and just the odd one or two slip a bit high. The kick comes forward. Polton jumps, can't take the mark. Dolling will get the kick away, and Panozzo had it covered, but the boundary line got there first. So once again, throw in, centre wing, outer side. Let's record that and just press it 20 times in a game. As the umpire actually just gets something out to wipe the ball with a wipe his hands so they can get the throw in right. High into the wet area here as Batson and Cranston do battle. It basically lands at Baston's feet. Ruwald goes in and gets the ball. He's tackled by Perkins. It goes about a metre, and it'll be another ball up as we are on the verge of hitting time on here. The Tigers, looking for the first points of the season, lead this one by 8 from the ball up. Is that Ben Moore tries to pick it up? He's tackled pretty quickly. In fact, that might be Fisher,
yep,
who's wrapped up. And so another ball up. It's about 90 out from the Tigers' goal. This time Perkins gets a long tap towards Batson. Batson gets the hand pass away. But Magpies get a kick, looking for Waterhouse versus Rudolph. Rudolph in front. He'll see it over the boundary line, and it goes the Magpies side now.
Perkins in a bit of discomfort back behind the play as well. Phil just getting up limping from that collision.
It's been a rough old day. They'll enjoy the warm showers and the dinner tonight. Looking forward to a bit of hot chicken noodle soup myself when I get home tonight. As the Micklejohn gets the tap down only as far as Rudolph of the Tigers. He's tackled. Quick kick away by Glenelg. Heads towards forward the centre wing. And I think that Perkins who's picked it up. So he's recovered well. Magpie players and Tiger players moving down. He's at half-forward flank, and he's got about 4 players behind him. The rest are forward towards the goals. Big packet, centre half-forward. Micklejohn brings it to ground. Clayton, I think that is tackled. Will be a ball up. Big one coming up, John, 45 metres out for the Magpies.
Magpies still pressing to try and narrow this gap. Time on approaching in the final quarter. Glenelg lead it by 8 points. Fisher wins the clearance for his side, kicks it out to accommodate the run of Backwell. Backwell stops, props, looks up and kicks the ball up the outer centre wing. Contest here between Smith and Perry. Perry, better position, takes possession of the ball. Can't get an effective disposal though. Smith lays a tackle with the support of Ruwald. Still on that little 10-metre area on the outer centre wing where the initial contest happened between Smith and Perry. Eventually the Magpies win it out and kick it towards right half forward where Lally took possession of the ball, but he was bundled over the boundary line. So we will see a boundary throw in. 20 minutes have gone now in the final term. Glenelg 6-4-40. Port Adelaide are 80% of that total at 4-8-32. 8-point lead to the Tigers. It's Meiklejohn thumps it forward, but it's picked up for Glenelg by Lally on that occasion. Kicks it towards the outer centre wing. Smith playing in front of Perry takes the mark. Lally's running up through the middle of the ground to give him another option. Instead, he kicks towards the lead of Mitchell. He got Lees out of that contest and picked up the ball. Lally is still running. He might get in the end of this one yet as Mitchell kicks it towards the top of the square. Benny Moore involved in a contest there. Can't take the mark, can't get possession of the ball. Boat comes in to lend support, and in the end we'll have it bounce down 12 metres out directly in front of the Tiger goal. Still not a Port Adelaide player back on the goal line. That could be a crucial little mistake if Glenelg can dribble a kick forward. They can't. on this occasion. 2 or 3 players sitting on the ball, and we will see a bounce down again. It's still in that same spot, about 12 metres out from the Glenelg goal, and still not a Port Adelaide defender on the goal line. Just watch for this one as Batson gets the kick out from the pack after doing the ruck work himself, but again, no player will get an effective disposal. 35 metres out from the Glenelg goal. We'll see another bounce down in front of the scoreboard that tells us the Tigers have it by 8 points at the moment. Thump forward towards Rudolph. He can't, again, get possession of the ball, so Phil Herden, we'll see if you can get something happening here.
Well, we've played about 22 minutes of the final quarter. Most of the quarters have gone 27-28, not because of a lot of goals, but because of all the boundary throws. The Magpies trying clear. They try and go across goal. They've got a loose player here. A chance to hand pass. Perkins has got. He's now under pressure now. Comes back to Perkins. Perkins now just puts it on the boot. It's going to lob about centre wing grandstand side. Fisher runs across. Picks it up. Looks now for Murphy. Murphy's got a couple of loose Tigers. Glenelg are on here. It comes to Panozzo. Panozzo inside forward 50. Coming in hard there was Batson, who thumps it in front of the Snouts Louts, who've got some voice. You can see the Tigers winning game number 1 of the year. They've got the chant going down there in the pocket, trying to get their beloved Bays home. Just a few minutes left in the game. Comes to ground from the tap-in. Again, the umpire will ball it up. 8 points the difference. The Tigers, 6-4-40. The Magpies, 4-8-32. A check of the time clock, 23 minutes gone of the final quarter. Umpire balls it up as they've done all day. It's an aerial ping pong at its finest at the moment. Comes to the Magpies who kick, and this kick will lob very close to the boundary line. Comes to the back of the pack. Tigers have the numbers as they've done it this part for the last couple of minutes. Comes to Cranston, who just puts it on the boot. Umpire said out of bounds, and it's been marked. So it's gone over the boundary line. It was marked. Unless he stepped.
It must have gone over and the wind's brought it back.
Well, I thought that would still be in play. Anyway, the ball's come through because doesn't it depend upon where the ball lands?
Yeah. I think that is the rule. Well, no, it's not the ruling, because if the ball is over the boundary line, doesn't matter whether it's on the ground or in the air, I think it's over. So it's probably technically a correct decision, but still somewhat baffling as the Magpies try and thump it forward through Jarjura Murphy there and gets it over the boundary line for the Glenelg side. 24 minutes played in the final quarter for Energy Saver Products. Look to the future. Glenelg are doing that. They are 6-4-40, Porter 4-8-32. 8-point lead to the Tigers, who led by 10 points at three-quarter time. Waterhouse takes possession of the ball, ridden in the ground by Fisher. Play on, says the umpire. Fisher then lays another tackle, and coming over the top of him is Polton. Stacks on the mill, 70 metres out from the Port Adelaide goal. Port just need to get a few players away from this clearance and allow the ball to get out of the area to give themselves a chance to score. And they can, on this occasion, Gates takes possession of it. Dolling's going to run out of space. Fisher will get the ball over the boundary line. It'll suit Glenelg nicely just to ride the time away, Phil.
Everyone's trying to play for a free kick at the moment. No one's buying.
Jesse Smith.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think time's just going to get away from Port here.
As Polton comes in, thumps it down towards Dolling. He's going to run out of space. No, he just keeps it and gets the handball back to Clayton. Mark Clayton pops it on the boot in game number 200 today. The Port skipper, top of the square, chance for the Port Magpies. They need a goal somehow from here. Biaggi comes through, handballs the ball to goalward bound. Kirkby knocks it a bit closer towards goal, and in the end, it trickles over for a rush behind. Believe it or not, in today's conditions, the first rush behind in this game today narrows the margin to 7 points. Port Adelaide are 4 goals, 9-33. Glenelg are 6-4-40. It's a significant 7-point lead in these conditions. We've been going 25 minutes in the final stanza. Panozzo just kicks it long to the outer defensive side of the ground. Cranston will fly high in this contest. It'll be one for the Crummers at the front of the pack. It comes out towards the back now. It's socked forward by Ruwalt for Glenelg. And then Tommy Carr manages to get his foot to the ball as he's sliding down. It goes laterally out towards the boundary line, taken by Ruwalt. Gives it over to Rudolph. He's under enormous pressure. He got tackled and tackled illegally. In fact, it won't be Rudolph. It will be Benny Kane, the recipient of that free kick, and he will go back and look to take his time and milk down some valuable seconds. Do you think Glenelg's home? Jesse Smith.
Yeah, they just need to keep possession of the ball here and not do anything stupid.
So keep it down the boundary line on the far side should be the call of action, as that's where it heads towards that boundary line off the hands. Pack descends. Smith, who's probably been the best big man on the field for mine, had it. His teammate is tackled. Time now ticking away for the Magpies. They need 2 scores to tie or win. And the ball is about 80 metres, well, more than that, away from the field. De Pasquale tries to soccer it off the ground. Comes to Backwell. Backwell picks it up. His kick just off the boot. Slattery against Moore. Slattery almost took a one-handed mark, but not paid. Comes now to Jajora. He gets it across to his teammate who kicks it downfield. Lobs to DePasquale. Gets the kick away. Bounces. The McConnell picks it up. Gets the hand pass away to Kane. It's right by this boundary line once again. And it will be a throw-in. So Glenelg are playing the percentages at the moment. They're keeping it on the outer side. Whenever they get possession, they head as close to that boundary line as possible. Of course, time on. The throw-in is not counted in the game clock. Hence why we've had long quarters despite minimal goals. From the pack, well done by Allen. Somehow weave his way out of traffic to get a clear possession. Now the long kick downfield. It's to the half-forward flank of the Tigers. Comes to ground. Magpies have the numbers. If they bring it in board, they're half a chance here. But instead, the player's pushed in the back. Now they bring it in board, looking for Jajora. How will it sit in the mud puddle? Jajora's the runner. Will they use him? Now they've got him. Siren goes! Tigers win! First premiership points of 2007 to the Glenelg Football Club. As Jajora's kick did not register a score. It is the Tigers 6-4-40, 7-point winners. Port Adelaide 4-9-33 as Tigerland belts around Challenge Recruitment Oval.